after that.
Okay, Vishal, that's a story, Samiksha, that a lot of us actually tell in the first person, because once you live in, a region like Delhi, Delhi, again, as I said, in the seismic zone 4, this is a high risk zone. And as I said, if you have an earthquake that has an, epicenter in the Hindu Kush area, in the Nepal region, in the Uttarakhand region, that is prone to these, seismic regions, you will experience these tremors in the national capital. But Samiksha, do we have more details now of where the epicenter was? These are mild tremors, very mild as compared to the stronger tremors we felt in the national capital when you had the epicenter in Nepal. I remember the epicenter was Nepal, and I think on the Richter scale it was 6.3, if I'm not wrong, the magnitude of the earthquake.
Yes, EP. And while we speak, I'm also getting messages from my family members in Dehradun who are telling me that yes, there were tremors that were felt in Dehradun as well. So not just in Delhi NCR. We're given to understand that tremors were felt, the mild tremors were felt in Dehradun. Of course, the intensity is being said to be less than what was felt just a few days back. But yes, what we can confirm as of now, that tremors that were felt not just in the Delhi NCR area but in parts of Uttarakhand as well. Of course, the epicenter, the last one that was felt, the epicenter was in Nepal. We do not know the epicenter of this particular earthquake, but yes, there's a lot of panic among the Delhi people. People in the Delhi NCR who've been texting. In fact, social media is also abuzz with the tremors that have been felt. A mild one, of course. More details are awaited on this, but tremors not just in Delhi but in parts of Uttarakhand, including Dehradun. Deepti.
Yes, and this is exactly what, I think a lot of seismologists also indicate that once you do have an earthquake of a magnitude like 6.3, Vishal, do you have more information? Are you wanting to share something with us?
Yeah, it was a 5.1 magnitude earthquake on the Richter scale, yeah.
Where was the epicenter?
It was around 7:57 p.m. and the epicenter was in Nepal, India and China.
We will in fact, okay, I think this is initial information now trickling in. The estimated magnitude, an initial, reading that has come in, this was a 5.1 magnitude, and the affected countries are Nepal, India and China. The epicenter is said to be about 3 kilometers from Silanga. This is in Nepal. So the second earthquake, Samiksha, that has come forth in Nepal in just a matter of a week. The last earthquake, Samiksha, that we reported, and Vishal, you'd agree, was stronger, 6.3, but this is also an earthquake that has an epicenter close to the Silanga area in Nepal. Okay, I think it's being revised to 5.4 is what our team is telling us. So the epicenter is in Nepal. The magnitude of the earthquake is said to be 5.4 on the Richter scale, and a large part of North India has experienced the mild tremors, is what we can again confirm to our viewers. These tremors lasted for a good 60 seconds, though I must say that being in the studio here, I did not experience these tremors, but the last time around when you had the epicenter of this earthquake in Nepal, and that magnitude was 6.3, close to about 1:58 a.m. at night, we felt those tremors for at least, I think a good amount of time, and they were pretty strong. And right now, in fact, there is this entire map coming in from the National Center of Seismology. We'll see if we can get Samiksha to bring that up for us on our surface in Mumbai. That is also telling us more of the affected areas where the tremors possibly have been felt. But what we can now tell you is that this quake measured 5.4 on the Richter scale. The tremors felt as far as Delhi, the NCR region. Samiksha telling us also in Dehradun. Some parts of Rajasthan are also now saying that they did feel these tremors. So this earthquake struck Nepal at about 7:57 and a magnitude of 5.4. the epicenter, I'm not sure. Okay, this is another report that's coming in saying the epicenter possibly is in Joshimath in Uttarakhand. So I will see if we can get a confirmation to that. The epicenter is said to be near Joshimath in Uttarakhand. Samiksha, do we have a confirmation to that?
I did not hear you clearly if that question is addressed to me. Just to put it in bullet points, what we know so far, the tremors were felt at around 7:57 p.m. Tremors were felt in Delhi NCR area. Tremors were also felt in parts of Uttarakhand, including Dehradun and Chamoli. What we are also given to understand that the magnitude of this earthquake is said to be 5.4 on Richter scale. So that is the intensity, of course, less compared to the last one. But the second successive tremors to have been felt, not just in Delhi NCR area, but in Uttarakhand as well. In fact, in Uttarakhand, the confirmation we are getting as of now is that these tremors were felt in parts of Dehradun, Chamoli district, in Joshimath area as well. The tremors that were felt at around 19:57-58 p.m. So that is the exact time, when these tremors were felt. More information is awaited, Deepthi, but it is being said that the epicenter of this earthquake was in Nepal.
There are some bit of conflicting reports, Samiksha. That is why I don't think we should put that out, whether the epicenter was Nepal, whether this was Uttarakhand. Because what I'm checking on the website of the seismological department, it indicates that the epicenter was in Nepal. So we will await a clarification on that. And viewers must actually keep in mind that because this is a developing situation and we are getting to you this in real time. Till now, there has been no reports of any loss of life or damage that has come forward. But yes, if you're living in the Delhi NCR region, parts of Dehradun, Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, there are reports coming in of mild tremors that have been experienced. This is an earthquake with the epicenter somewhere close to in Nepal. Ankit also now joining us, I'm told. Ankit, what more can you tell us? Ankit?
You can hear me. Deepthi, if you can hear me, this is a 5.4 magnitude earthquake that occurred at 7:57 p.m. and 6 seconds at a latitude 29 degrees 28 minutes and longitude 81 degrees 20 minutes. That is right at the border between Nepal and Uttarakhand, just slightly in the Nepal side. It's almost at the same location where 4 days earlier another earthquake had been experienced. This may well be a aftershock. They are known to happen in a short space of time, one after the other. And it is at an epicenter that is located at a depth of 10 kilometers below the ground level. And so that is where these tectonic plates appear to have ground against each other. The 5.4 is the magnitude of the earthquake according to India's National Center for Seismology. And we have the location open in the map in front of our viewers. It is right on the western side of Nepal, very close, just a couple of half a dozen, a couple of 50 or so kilometers away from the border of Uttarakhand. This is the official information coming in at 7:57 p.m. This is an earthquake that caused tremors for approximately a minute is what we are told, Deepthi.
Oh, yes. And Ankit, because the epicenter, again, you're telling us is in Nepal, we must tell our viewers that Nepal is located very close to a fault line. And, this is the reason why you see that region that experiences earthquakes very often. I do remember that last earthquake, which was pretty bad. It was pretty devastating. Thankfully, the last earthquake that we also experienced tremors of in the national capital was 6.3, but did not report much of damage, though there was a loss of life and property that was reported. I do see Abhishek also. Abhishek, are there more details that you can share with us?
Well, as of now, the same information, Deepthi, that we have been talking about, that the epicenter was in the western edge of Nepal, bordering India, and that's about 10 kilometers deep, but about 3 kilometers from the border, Indian border. And remember, this is exactly the same place where there was a similar tremor last week, which was even higher on the Richter scale, which suggests that this could be an aftershock, or this could be a build-up to, even a severe category earthquake in the region. Remember, the Himalayan plates are notorious for tectonic movements, and this is a belt which frequently sees earthquakes, and whether this is an aftershock or this is a build-up to, more friction, more energy building up inside those plates, that's something which we have to wait and to understand from the National Center for Seismology and possibly BISAG in Gandhinagar in Gujarat, which monitors this kind of activity. Even the US seismological site which does that. But what is important is that this is second time in a week that we are seeing this kind of tectonic activity taking place in the region. Delhi NCR, of course, a part of the extended region where this earthquake has been felt, including with its epicenter in Nepal, both India and China. So I think and remember, the epicenter is right there in the hills, which means there could have been some damage which would take a while to ascertain in terms of whether property damage has taken place, whether some loss of life that has taken place. I am in fact trying to surf through some sources which can give us some idea as to what has exactly happened in Nepal. But remember, this is second movement of tectonic plates in the Himalayan belt in the last 1 week, and that gives you an idea of what's happening down under. And as I said, if it's a build-up to more energy, if it's leading to a build-up of more energy, then it can really come out with an even higher intensity earthquake. So caution, the buzzword, but insofar as this present earthquake, which lasted about 60 seconds, and we could feel it in Delhi and in Noida, in fact, then we have to ascertain if any loss of life or property has happened with its epicenter in Nepal. 10 kilometers below the Earth's surface is not very deep, which means it can actually lead to some loss. Deepti, typically, if the earthquake comes and the epicenter is 15-20 kilometers down below, then the scale of damage is less. But this seems like this is up there, just 10 kilometers, and we'll have to really see and find out whether some damages happened in Nepal.
Yes, I'm also trying just to surf through the social media to figure out if there are more details coming in, from the different networks in Nepal. But as of now, there isn't much, Ankit, that we can put out. But Samiksha, what we must also do is try to get seismologists to help understand, why you have a particular region that is struck by an earthquake, which is, at least 5.3 on the Richter scale, that is still powerful, lesser than a 6.3, but still it is an earthquake that has to be talked about. So why do we have this particular region that experiences an earthquake so often? Could this be an aftershock like what Abhishek and Ankit spoke about? And Ankit, what are you learning? Any more details that you can add to what we know? Any more updates that we have from different networks in Nepal?
So just two pieces of information, Deepti. One is like Abhishek right now.
The Himalayas were formed by tectonic activity. It was the Indian subcontinent or shelf that moved northwards into Asia, and that is what formed the Himalayas. And the second thing is that the Richter scale is a logarithmic scale, and so the difference between a 5.4 and a 6.4 is 10x. So the earthquake that we witnessed 4 days back was approximately 10 times more powerful than what has happened today, which would indicate perhaps that given the fact that they're at the same location, this is an aftershock resulting from the one that we saw 4 days ago. So if this is 5.4 located just about the same place, that's still very, very powerful. It's less powerful by quite a bit than the one we saw 4 days ago, but it's certainly strong enough that it has caused aftershock in Delhi also, where you are, and then from that one can consequently presume all across the north of India. We await to see what kind of damage it has caused, because with earthquakes it's very unpredictable. It hits you at the wrong place at the wrong height, and a weaker earthquake could cause more damage or less damage. It's very hard to predict. We'll find out, I'm sure, also perhaps when there's more daylight.
Oh yes, and Ankit, as we are breaking this, important bit of information on our screens, these are updates also coming in from Uttarakhand, where these tremors have been felt. So it's not just the Delhi, the NCR region, Uttarakhand, that have experienced this entire, tremors at least. I'm told Dr. Harsh Gupta, who's an earthquake expert and he, in fact, works on the Himalaya environment, is also joining us right now. Dr. Gupta, sir, good evening. Thank you for speaking to us on Republic. How do you read into what we know so far, sir? Just about 4 days ago, there's this earthquake with a magnitude of 6.3, and close to that very same epicenter, you have another earthquake that has been reported right now of a magnitude of 5.4. Could this be an aftershock?
You see, it is very difficult when an earthquake occurs to say whether it is an aftershock or a foreshock of a possibly larger earthquake. So this area have had magnitude 6 earthquakes. Nothing like that has happened for almost 60, 70 years. And in Nepal, we had a 6.3 magnitude earthquake. 2015, on 25th April, there was a magnitude 7.6 earthquake in Nepal, which has claimed around 10,000 lives. And that was followed by another earthquake of magnitude 7.3, just 200 kilometers towards east of it. So what I'm trying to get back to you, it's happening coming here. No big earthquake has come for a very long time. A big earthquake can come anytime. And the problem with prediction is that suppose I tell you that tomorrow at 12 noon, there will be a earthquake in Delhi, which could kill 40,000 people. Can everyone live in Delhi? So that's why I have been stressing for the last 2 years to generate the capability of being able to live with earthquakes. There's some very small little techniques which can help you save your lives, etc., etc. So I think it's not the time to go into those because what I'm trying to say that as such it is not possible to say that this earthquake, what we have seen, is aftershock or a foreshock of a big earthquake. That is a big question mark as of now.
Dr. Gupta, sir, I do appreciate that this is still, early time and it's difficult to make that assessment. But then what should people...
ऐसा लगा जैसे धरती हिल रही है, कुछ वाइब्रेशन से हो रहा है. फिर मैंने सोचा शायद ऐसे ही होगा, लेकिन वो काफ़ी देर 15-20 सेकंड तक था, तो महसूस हुआ. फिर मैं घर से नीचे आ गई हूँ ताकि सुरक्षित रहूँ.
All right, we just had to dip into that live reaction. Dr. Gupta, apologies that was coming in. That was the Ghaziabad region, again, the Delhi NCR region that has experienced mild tremors. Now, sir, tell me something, in a situation like this, like you said, it's difficult right now to make an assessment whether this is the build-up to a bigger quake or whether it's an aftershock. How far can science today predict, what it is and minimize damage? As in, what should the agencies, people be doing now?
But the answer to this is that we have to develop
Dr. Gupta, we just have a terrible audio line with you, sir. So we'll just try to, dial you again and repatch you because, I think you're answering a lot of important details right now that a lot of our viewers are asking. What should they do? People are obviously terrified because the Delhi NCR region and a large part of northern India, Abhishek, this is... a lot of people, in fact, now are saying that they did experience these tremors. They say they were pretty strong. Some say it was mild. Some said they did not notice. But the truth is that you had an earthquake in Nepal. Not very far, but the very fact that, a lot of people have experienced this for the second time in just this week, Abhishek, terrifies people. Now tell me something. What should agencies do? And Abhishek, is it fair to say that we now have been able to predict or minimize damages caused due to earthquake? Because that's a question I wanted Dr. Gupta also to speak on.
Well, Deepti, there are protocols in place insofar as the response of the disaster management machinery is concerned post an earthquake, but unfortunately there is no technology as yet which can predict an earthquake, giving any time insofar as, evacuating people or saving those who can get stuck in buildings, high rises, for example, is concerned. So, in fact, I was going through a picture which says that people, they're asked to run inside because of pollution. And now because there is an earthquake, they are now being asked to run outside because of the earthquake. So it can be a difficult situation. And as Ankit was explaining, it's a logarithmic scale. So the last week's earthquake being 6.4 and now it's being 5.4. Possibly this is an aftershock and not exactly a build-up of a possibility of a bigger earthquake coming. But even 6.4 in the mountains can be serious business. It can cause serious damage. If it happens in an area which is, dense with population. So we have to see if this 5.4 earthquake has come in an area which is populated, because remember, this is absolutely extreme west of Nepal, in fact, bordering India, and those can be those can be areas which are very scarcely populated. So
तेज ना हो तो उसको देखते हुए हम लोग अपने एहतियात बरतते हुए बाहर आ गए थे और हल्के ही थे, बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं थे।
क्या लगा आपको यहाँ पे?
मेरा नाम विशाल शुक्ला है। मैं यहाँ पे खड़ा हुआ था सिविल लाइन्स इलाके में। अचानक तकरीबन 7:58 हुए होंगे, तो जैसा लगा कि जैसे धरती ऐसे से हिल रहा है कुछ, तो मैंने देखा कोई टीन की आवाज़ आ रही थी। अभी कुछ दिन पहले भी भूकंप आया था, तो मुझे तुरंत क्लिक हुआ कि भूकंप ही होगा।
तो आप बाहर आ गए यहीं पर?
हाँ, तुरंत मैं बाहर आया, क्योंकि तेज़ भी हो सकता था, गिरने का खतरा रहता है, तमाम तरह के विचार मन में आते हैं इसको लेके, इस वजह से मैं तुरंत बाहर आया।
अभी हम गेस्ट हाउस में ही थे, अभी 2 मिनट के लिए बाहर आके निकले थे। 1 मिनट में गाड़ी बैक कर ही रहा था, हल्का सा स्मेल सा गाड़ी जैसे डिस्पेलेंस होता है ऐसा फील हुआ, मगर एहसास हुआ कि कुछ भूकंप का टाइप का झटका था।
तो फिर और भी लोग थे, सब लोग बाहर आ गए हैं गेस्ट हाउस में?
नहीं, गेस्ट हाउस से बाहर नहीं आए, मगर फील हुआ सबको कि थोड़ा झटका वगैरह आया है।
So more reactions there coming in, particularly from the Delhi NCR region. Now, there is, in fact, this information coming in from Uttarakhand of stronger tremors that have been felt in some Uttarakhand districts. We'll get you live details also of that. But I want to go back to Dr. Harsh Gupta, who's a renowned seismologist who continues to be with us. Oh, I think technology playing spoiler. I'm not sure whether he's there with us or not. I'll try speaking to him. Dr. Gupta, sir, can you hear us?
I'm online.
Dr. Gupta, are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, sir. Dr.
Can
Gupta?
you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear,
Hello?
sir. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Very good.
Sir, are you able to hear us?
I am in Hyderabad.
Okay, you're in Hyderabad, sir. We were discussing whether, in today's day and time, we have any kind of a technology they can, predict earthquakes, at least tell us of more aftershocks possibly, and help people stay safe.
Okay, there are ways of assessing after a big earthquake occurs. Suppose a magnitude 7 earthquake occurs. Then there are techniques to say that it will have aftershocks of magnitude 5 and larger for next 12 months. Things like that. But right now, the stage is this, that
12
we are
months.
getting these shocks. So at this stage, it is difficult to say that. The other thing is this, that there are some very simple things which people will follow. They can reduce their damage quite a bit. There are techniques, there are things to be done during the earthquake when you feel it. And I think we should have actually a school curriculum because we are in seismic zone. And I must tell you that in many other countries, say in Nepal, on every 15th of January, they have an earthquake observation day. Because that's when the 1934 Nepal-Bihar earthquake had occurred, which had killed 30,000 people. So they have got some 100 spots in Kathmandu, which are safe spots, which are known to the people. So whenever there is a small little tremor, people run to that place. like that, there are many other things which should be done totally, systematically. So we get to live with earthquakes because earthquakes cannot be forecasted as of now. And you see, it is not that something we are going to do. It has been done globally. If you look at a place like Japan, in 2011, there was a magnitude 9 earthquake there. Only 20,000 lives were lost. Magnitude 9 earthquake is like 40,000 Hiroshima kind of bomb going one after another. Because a magnitude 6 earthquake releases energy that of one Hiroshima or kind of a bomb. So this is an example which I tell people realize that what a 6 magnitude earthquake is. So there are simple techniques how to construct your houses, how to avoid soil liquefaction. These techniques are all available. And countries which have followed, I'm saying magnitude 5 or 6 earthquake in Tokyo does not create any problem today. But a 6 earthquake in Delhi would be a havoc. Because in Delhi, we have got constructions which are very poor. They are totally, they are very vulnerable to earthquake accelerations. So this is a really difficult situation. And coming back to, again, forecasting the earthquake, we cannot forecast it accurately enough as of today. And as I told you, that even if you forecast, can everyone leave Delhi? Are you there or gone?
So we can hear you. We can hear you, Dr. Gupta, and I think that's a very important bit of information, sir, that you've shared with us. Only for the moment, sir, I'll let you go, but we will touch base again because this is still a developing story and we'll continue to revisit it. At the moment, I'll quickly recap what we know for our viewers. There is nothing to panic. People must stay safe. Nothing to panic. Again and again, it's important to reiterate, like Dr. Gupta said, this is an earthquake that measured 5.4 on the Richter scale, the epicenter in Nepal, very close to the epicenter of the last earthquake with the magnitude of 6.3. We are awaiting more details. And we are going to be tracking that story through this evening here on Republic. Time for us also to put our focus on the burning question at this point. A story that the entire country is talking about. Why is Mamata Banerjee silent? Why is Mamata Banerjee not angry like you and me and like a lot of other people today about a TMC man, a TMC minister in Mamata's cabinet who uses despicable, crass, uncouth language against the president of the country? It's been 24 hours, zero action against the TMC man. We do not know why. Why is Mamata Banerjee not speaking up? Let's quickly get in our panel of guests that has been patiently waiting for us. We also have Saurav Sikdar, spokesperson of the West Bengal BJP with us. And I think, yes, I do see Riju Datta, spokesperson of the TMC. Gentlemen, thank you for being patient and welcome into the debate. First to you, Riju Datta. So Mamata Banerjee is endorsing these uncouth, these deplorable, misogynist, bigoted comments of this neta, this minister.
First of all, Deepthi, good evening and good to see you back on Republic. But let me tell you very clearly, as the national spokesperson of the party, we have utmost respect for the chair of the president and Ms. Draupadi Murmu, and Trinamool Congress strongly condemns the unfortunate remarks made by our MLA minister Akhil Giri, who in return has posted a video where he has unconditionally apologized for his remark, even though he has given a clarification, but he has unconditionally apologized for his remark. And everything the Supremo knows, and it is very unfortunate because in this era of women development and women empowerment, there is no place for such misogyny. It is a very, very unspeakable, and we condemn this whole entire thing. Now, because we are in a political situation, Deepthi, and if you give me a little bit of courtesy of time, I will only say this. Yes, this man, whatever he has said is despicable, is insensitive, and he has apologized for the same. But BJP, their central ministers from Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan to Arjun Munda, they are doing press conferences, whatnot. But let me remind your viewers of pertinent some issues. And I'm saying this because Republic has a fantastic team of fact-checking. When after ISKCON Rath Yatra, Mamata Banerjee said, I asked the BJP who your president candidate is. If that time they would have told me that the president candidate is Draupadi Murmu, then I would have unconditionally supported her, and not only that, I would have talked to the opposition parties
the story.
to give her, declare her the winner.
I promised to give you your opening comments time.
I'm coming.
I gave you that time. I listened to you very patiently. Can 1 second. No. Riju, please. Riju, please.
I request you
before we open the panel, I do see Pratibha Barnali and Nilanjan Das also with us. So thank you to all of you for joining us, and thank you for your patience. But Riju, okay, Anirban also there. Anirban, welcome. Riju, tell me something. Whenever we as journalists, whenever we as voters, as viewers think, yaar isse niche neta nahi jayega, you people surprise us. Because you tell us that you can steep lower.
Right.
And you actually do that. Have you heard something as despicable as this? And this is coming from a TMC neta. Tell me something. Tell me something, Riju. Why can't he be sacked?
Okay.
What is the compulsion? Why do you need him? Why do you need him as a minister in your cabinet?
Okay, brilliant question, Deepthi. Let me answer, Deepthi. When you say that the netas cannot go any low and why he cannot be sacked, I'm sure the chairperson of the party in due course of time will come out with her verdict of it. But let me remind your national viewers and your international viewers, one of the highest posts in the country, the Prime Minister of the country, who came to Bengal during Bengal elections, catcalled the only female Chief Minister of this country, Mamata Banerjee, by Didi or Didi.
See,
MLA,
this is where we tend to normalize this language. Riju, this is exactly how we tend to normalize this language. Saurabh, why don't you come in? Saurabh, the point is we start comparing. We start comparing your insult versus my insult, right?
Well.
Today, tell me,
Riju, let me answer. Riju, let me answer.
Do you have to call anyone else?
Let me answer, please.
You have not acted against your neta. You act against your neta and then you ask questions of anyone else. I'll support you. But have you acted against your own man, against your own minister? The answer is no.
Deepthi, I'm just changing the goalpost. Our ministers in Naroda Sharoda scam went behind bars, but the Bengal leader of opposition mentioned in the CBI and ED charge sheet of Naroda Sharoda is roaming around and having tea with the Home Minister. You think law is uniform in this country? I'm sorry.
Are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed to talk of your minister? You're again and again trying to divert and deflect. Riju,
why you are diverting the topic, Riju? Why you are diverting the topic?
To be a prime minister. Mamata Banerjee aspires to be a prime minister.
No, you are diverting the topic because you don't have any answer.
Not even one person is going to be supporting you. Sack this neta is what the entire country says. Saurabh.
I am not supporting him. My party is not supporting his comments.
But you don't sack him either. You don't sack him either.
Then why he
you
is
have
not
Shashi
sacked
Panja,
yet?
Kunal Ghosh, who are present. They do not act against him. They are also not going ahead to file FIRs. Riju? Saurabh, please.
Deepthi, I'm asking you as a reputed journalist, have you seen one BJP minister?
Can I answer it? Can I answer it, please, Riju?
Never.
Allow me to speak now.
I'm going to come back.
Please allow me to speak.
Yeah, please.
Let Saurabh put out his opening comments. We'll answer your questions. Yes, Saurabh.
Yeah.
Well, as per Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, president is a symbol of the nation. Now, the person who made a rusty comment on her, he is not an ordinary person. He is a legislator and he is a minister of West Bengal government. Now, when Mamata Banerjee said I am the candidate in all 294 seats, then why she's not speak out? What is her reaction? And secondly, she is not all, just forget it, she is president of India. She is a woman. So insulting of a woman, insulting a dignity of a woman is a criminal offense in our penal code. And thirdly, she belongs to SC and ST community. So everybody knows what is the view to the SC and ST community of our chief minister. She only holds the hand of a tribal women who only wear he Every media has covered that. So she said the mindset, and Akhil Giri is following that only. He has to be arrested. This is a crime. This is not a just word. This is a crime because you know
Can I
in our
answer quickly?
constitution,
Quick
in
rebuttal,
our
please,
everywhere, she is the first citizen
No,
of India.
1 second, Riju.
How come anybody
Riju,
think
please
also
hear other
she
people
is
also.
mentally
Please.
sick?
Yes.
Riju, I didn't interrupt you.
Okay,
When
Saurabh
is-
says that this reflects on Mamata
My
Banerjee and you know, Riju, this is not a question, but the very fact today that Mamata Banerjee is silent, Mamata Banerjee does not act against this Neta is her endorsement until and unless you sack this man. Let me also get an Anirban and then we will get in Nilanjan, Barnali and Pratibha also. Anirban, often you've defended the Trinamool Congress, Anirban.
Yeah.
Do you feel ashamed today of the lack of action by Mamata Banerjee?
First of all, while the Trinamool Congress has officially, unconditionally condemned this statement, the people of this country do not need the crocodile tears of the BJP for respect of women. On 15th of August this year, in the
forget
morning,
the BJP
when
today,
the Prime Minister,
Anirban.
Honorable
Today
Mr.
it's not
Narendra
about the
Modi
BJP.
was giving his speech
Today the
about
test is
respect
for the
of women.
Trinamool. Today it is Mamata Banerjee's test.
It
is Mamata Banerjee's test, Anirban. Are you also equally embarrassed like Riju that you cannot speak about this minister?
There is a BJP
His name is Akhil Giri.
How can I forget about
Why
the
don't you
BJP?
name him? Name him today.
I have a problem.
Say Mamata Banerjee needs to act and sack this minister. Why are you so embarrassed,
Whatever the
Anirban?
minister has said. Listen to me. Listen to me. While I have a problem with the statement of Mr. Giri, I have even a bigger problem with BJP sermoning us, preaching us about dignity of women. A party that officially stands for gang rapists need not preach us on anything, please. I have a bigger problem with that. The BJP
Anirban,
has no
the people
moral
of the
right
country
to
want
preach
this
anything
man to be
about the
sacked.
dignity of
People
women
of the
to
country
anyone.
say,
Sorry.
Barnali, why don't you come in? It's not about the BJP versus the TMC. You know, all that you people think is politics. But Barnali, what does the citizen today feel? Hang on, Anirban. Anirban, for a moment think, imagine the level of misogyny today, Barnali, that women face every day. If this is what the women president of India, that is the top constitutional officer, is not even spared, Barnali. Imagine what a normal woman has to go through, the level of misogyny.
It is our fundamental right to freedom of speech and expression. As much as we enjoy this right, it is not an absolute right. It has its own limitations. So a politician or a leader whom we elect and they represent our country, they should choose their words very wisely. They should know what they are speaking on a public forum. They should be aware of what they are speaking. And under any cost, they cannot demean a woman or anybody as a matter of fact. These are the leaders that we choose. One should be responsible. They should make the statements. It is not about BJP. It is for everybody. It is for everybody.
But Barnali, they don't care about us.
As much as we
Barnali,
enjoy
they
our
do not
fundamental
care
rights,
about
it
what
has
people
limitations.
feel. What about
These are
how
not
people
absolute
feel?
rights.
Pratibha, you've been listening into all this very patiently. Anirban, pull back. Anirban, I'm requesting you to pull back, please. Please, Anirban, there are people on the panel who haven't spoken. I'm just going to come back to you. Let Pratibha please put out her point here. Then we also have Nilanjan who hasn't spoken. Pratibha.
Okay, so
the party's boss is a woman. She aspires to be the Prime Minister one day and she does not act against him. What does this tell you?
So what I want to tell you is that it shows that even after years and years of hard work that women have put in and reached the highest position of office, they're still objects of male gaze. There's face shaming, there's body shaming, there's all kinds of shaming of women in this country. And as the previous speaker said, I think one should be sensitive to language. One should be sensitive to and accountable to what that person says in a public platform, on a public platform, in a public forum. And I am really, very, very hassled and very upset about the fact that being a woman and a woman leader at that, a politician who's respected, who's won elections, Srimati Mamata Banerjee has not sacked this minister because, a mere saying sorry is not enough. A mere apology is not enough. It's high time that people of this country take responsibility for their language, for the deliverance, and for what they say. And they have to respect women, whoever they be. And even this tweet about she being tribal or ST or SC, how does it matter who she is or what she is? She, for me, from where I stand, she is the president of my country. She is the president of India. And it does not matter who she is or what she is. And just the fact that she's a woman has, all these men, these male politicians are subjecting her to male gaze, objectifying her and talking about her and shaming her. This is humiliating for India. And I think that this man should be asked to step down from public office and he should resign.
It goes on and on.
Yes.
This is simply double standards.
Not resign, he should be sacked.
No, it is not double standard.
Why
It
do
has
we
been
need
going
such
on for
people in
ages.
political life?
And we need to
Pratibha
correct
Barnali.
this.
Yes, let's get in Nilanjan. He hasn't spoken yet. Then I'm going to go back to Riju and also to Anirban, who I don't know why still believe it's important to defend this man. Nilanjan, have you heard something as sexist, as bigoted, as uncouth
this man. Sorry, nobody is
as these comments?
Well,
Anirban,
have you
please.
heard?
Your name is not Nilanjan.
Well, have you heard a woman leader being called Fufu, Khala, and all kinds of stuff, Begum, and everything? And these are words coming out from the mouth of Mr. Shubhendu
So
Adhikari,
sab chalta hai na, Nilanjan?
not so honorable leader
So
of
you normalize
opposition
this.
of West Bengal.
This
No,
is
I'm
the
not.
problem?
How is it normal? Is it normal? Are you calling this
Nilanjan.
normal? Whatever I just said. It took me some trouble to
You are
even
calling
utter
this
these
normal?
words on national television.
By
I'm not
putting
normalizing.
one insult versus the
Let me
other.
speak. Please let me speak.
Absolutely.
You have to let me speak.
That's what you're doing.
I must compliment All India Trinamool
Please go
Congress
ahead.
for officially condemning his
Compliment.
remarks. And the party does not stand by whatever he has said.
Wow.
And you are saying that Mamata Banerjee hasn't spoken. She has said
Are
an
you
example.
supporting
Wow,
She
I
has
need to
openly
pinch myself that this is
condemned-
Are you
real
supporting
Riju.
Akhil Giri's comment?
I
She
need
has
to pinch
openly-
myself right now, sort
seems
of,
you are supporting.
to say that this is
No,
real.
you
Nilanjan
don't
is saying
even do one
we
show.
must compliment the
Republic
All
TV
India
will never do
Trinamool
one show
Congress for
on the
having
language
condemned
of-
this
on the
remark.
language.
Sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
What the
it
language
says-
What kind of
Shubhendu
politics
Adhikari
have we
says,
come down
Mr.
to?
Nilanjan
This
is
is-
supporting Akhil
Saurabh,
Giri's
Saurabh.
comment.
guts to say that.
Saurabh is countering
the
you.
Republic TV does not have a guts to say that.
Saurav. Saurav is
What will
responding
he
to
say?
you.
Nilanjan is supporting Mr. Akhil Giri's comment.
That
it
calls our
seems.
leader as BB or DD.
Because if not,
What will you say?
because
I've
if
heard
not,
what
then
you will
say
say.
loudly
The
that
country
he
has
should
heard what
resign.
you will say.
The most dishonorable prime minister would come to Bengal
Not
and
resign,
catcall
no,
our
Saurav, he
leader.
should be sacked.
No,
He has to
Why
be
should he be
sacked.
sacked? Why should he be
see, you
sacked?
will not
Let
decide
BJP
who is
set the
desirable
standards
or
first.
not desirable.
Then reward
but
him.
the thing is,
Please
here
reward
today
him.
the topic of
Please
debate
reward
is,
him.
Let
are you
BJP sack
supporting
their prime
Akhil
minister.
Giri
He
or
becomes
not?
your number
BJP
2 neta
sacked
in the
Mr.
Trinamool
Narendra
after
Modi as
Mamata
Prime
Banerjee.
Minister.
Saurav.
Has
Saurav,
BJP
you have
sacked Mr.
Nilanjan and
Narendra Modi as
Riju and
Prime Minister?
Anirban
This is the
asking,
question I
why
want to
should
ask
we
the
sack
BJP.
him? Why should we sack him? Saurav.
Let BJP sack Narendra Modi as Prime Minister. This is the challenge I want
Let's
to
have
put in.
Saurav and Riju will respond to him. Saurav. Saurav and Riju on the screen, please. Saurav.
Yes, no, definitely. What I said, any of panelists, either Riju or Anirban or Ms. Nilanjan, can you tell me, are you supporting Akhil Giri or not? If not, then please say that he should be sacked. He has made this is a crime. This is not a mistake.
Deepti, can I come in now?
This is a crime.
Saurabh, you're being soft. Saurabh, you are being unusually soft today. I don't know why. Did you hear what Nilanjan said? Nilanjan said we must compliment the All India Trinamool Congress for condemning this remark.
Dignity of a SC/ST leader.
So you will reward him?
As per penal code.
Riju, are you going to be rewarding this minister? Mamata Banerjee completely endorses this comment.
Deepti,
What nonsense are you talking about? Get your
Deepti,
facts
I will
right.
categorically tell you more. My goodness, let me speak.
Really?
My name is Riju
Nilanjan,
Datta,
you
please.
are the one who
Thank
said
you.
compliment the All India
Mamata
Trinamool Congress
Banerjee
for
is
having
the-
condemned this remark. Do you even understand
Can
what you
I
say?
answer? Let me know when I can
Riju.
talk. Let me know, Deepti, when I can talk. Yeah, thank you. See, the bottom line is this. Mamata Banerjee is the only women chief minister in the country and she's the definition of woman empowerment. Okay, and I'm telling you this because you're having a political debate, I'm telling you again.
No,
We
not
condemn what
today, not
Akhil
today,
Giri has said.
not
But
today,
if
Riju.
Akhil
No women
Giri needs to be
empowerment, do
sacked.
not say that.
Needs to be sacked.
Those words
Deepti,
mean
how many
nothing
shows has
unless you
Republic
act
done?
against this man.
How many shows has
No,
Republic
Riju,
done?
these words mean nothing
Deepti,
unless
how
you
many
act
shows
against
has
this man. It
Republic
means
done
nothing.
when
I'm
Narendra
sorry.
Modi has said,
It
50
means
crore ka
nothing,
girlfriend.
Riju. It means
Aap
nothing.
bolo na.
There
How
is
many
no
shows has
difference in
Republic
any
charity
political
done?
party. No.
I'm asking you,
All of
how
you
many shows
normalize
have
this
you
language
done?
against women.
How
For
many
you,
shows
women
have
are
you
treated
done?
as objects.
I am not normalizing. How many shows have you done when Narendra Modi said Didi or Didi, when Narendra Modi said
You
50
have to
crore ka
answer
girlfriend hai
questions
Sachita
today.
Roonka? How many
Because
shows
you
has
don't have
Republic
an
done?
answer. You don't have an answer, Riju, to this.
The
Tell me
people of
something.
this country
Why
have
should you
enough
not
debate
act?
on
Give me
Didi or
one
Didi,
good
Riju.
reason why you should not sack this minister. One good reason.
That and then come to us.
One good reason, Riju,
See,
you should not act against this man.
I'm
Tell
telling
me.
you,
One
no
good reason.
media channel,
Why do you
no-
want him?
Because he has instantly apologized for what he has said. We are not unlike BJP, we are not calling gang rapists sanskari Brahmins. The Prime Minister says Shashi Tharoor's wife is a 50 crore ka girlfriend. How many debates have you done on that comment? He made a remark and he apologized instantly.
You've been invited to those
And he said,
debates.
sorry.
You've been invited
Trinamool
to those
Congress
debates
officially
where you
condemned him.
said, where is the action? You've cried your lungs out,
no debate
Nilanjan,
on it.
Riju and
Let the
Anirban, where is
BJP
the action,
against
Barnali and
Mr.
Saurabh, but when
Narendra
it comes to them, an apology is good enough.
Yeah, so let
Riju,
Narendra
an
Modi
apology is
step
good
down,
enough.
Akhil
Mamata
Giri will
Banerjee can
also
be
step
quiet.
down.
If anything happens in Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, she'll
Will
be
the
the first
Prime
person to
Minister
tweet.
apologize
But
for
anything
letting off
happening
the
in her
gang
own
rapists?
home state, her own
Let the Prime
minister
Minister
talking
first
a language
apologize.
as despicable like this, Anirban, I do not know why you're talking over me. And she does not act. She does not act. Anirban, please go back and talk to your leader. Only for word of time, Riju. But it's been a disappointment today. And Nilanjan says, let's appreciate the AITC for having condemned the comment. I thank Barnali, I thank Pratibha and all gentlemen for joining us. Thank you. Republic will keep asking this question. Why is Mamata Banerjee silent? Thank you.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
30 to 40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, BITO has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free BITO glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
BJP state president walking towards the protesters demanding the resignation of Arya Rajendran, the mayor. At the same time, water cannons and tear gas are being used.
They want you to resign. Isn't it obvious to you, Mr. Khan? Now that you've used the resign word, I'll say it clearly to you. They want you to resign.
The law says the governor shall be chancellor. He cannot resign. Even when I had written the letter to the chief minister, I had said, make alternative statutory arrangements.
from the first rally spot of Anurag Thakur. This is Shimla Grameen. People here, women, children, youngsters, elders have come out. First time I'm seeing early in the morning.
Tipu Jayanti celebrations, there has been a low-key response for this entire celebrations in the Hubballi Idgah Maidan.
The BJP is taking out a massive protest outside the corporation demanding resignation of the mayor of Thiruvananthapuram.
Who is responsible for this showdown between you and the chief minister?
Let us put things in a proper perspective. Government is responsible for running the business of the government, and governor has been entrusted with the duty, obligation to run the university. Honorable Supreme Court has laid down the law. Now I have a duty not only as Chancellor but even as Governor of the state.
2000 से ज्यादा मोटरसाइकिल सवार आज यहाँ उतरे हैं अनुराग ठाकुर और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के समर्थन में, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के समर्थन में।
Property of the Jamaat Islami that has been seized, that falls in the Bongaon village for their links with the terror groups and carrying out the terror activities.
Several people have been killed.
बहुत ही ज़्यादा अशोभनीय, निंदनीय, दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है और यह कचरा मानसिकता का परिचय है। बर्खास्त करना चाहिए, अभी तक नहीं किया, दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
I call upon the TMC founder president Mamata Banerjee, the chief minister of West Bengal, to immediately suspend him, dismiss him from his party and keep him out.
And if she stands out to her speech normally, she should sack him first. She should show that she cannot observe all this news and nonsense.
Akhil Giri should be thrown out from the ministry immediately. Otherwise, it seems that Trinamool Congress used to speak in the same voice.
30 to 40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, BITO has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free BITO glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
Who is responsible for this showdown between you and the chief minister?
Let us put things in a proper perspective. Government is responsible for running the business of the government, and governor has been entrusted with the duty, obligation to run the university. Honorable Supreme Court has laid down the law. Now I have a duty not only as Chancellor but even as Governor of the state.
दो 2000 से ज्यादा मोटरसाइकिल सवार आज यहाँ उतरे हैं अनुराग ठाकुर और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के समर्थन में, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के समर्थन में।
Property of the Jamaat Islami that has been seized, that falls in the Bongaon village for their links with the terror groups and carrying out the terror activities.
Several people have been killed in a fire in Malé, the capital of the Maldives. The main accused in the Bargari sacrilege case, Pradeep Singh, has been shot dead by two bike-borne gunmen at Kotakpura in Faridkot.
3 arrests have been made, 2 Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists and 1 of their helper. Big success for the Jammu police as they have busted this major terror module. This was the tanker that was being used by the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists to sneak into the weapons from the Jammu to the Kashmir Valley.
So the chief minister has said that you are an RSS camp follower. He has said that you should be a detached figure. He says that you should uphold the dignity of your office, not be a RSS camp follower.
You can change a government. You can't change a people. It is the people of India who are electing the government at the center.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an important, very, very important episode of The Nation Wants to Know, because it's very topical. And I've always tried to make sure that whenever the subject has been a subject of conversation, not just in a part of India, but across the country, we must give it due importance and all sides of the story must come out. And on the program tonight, I have with me someone I have had the privilege of knowing for a long time, both personally and as a journalist. And I do admire him, and he knows that as well. But I find it very often that he comes into a controversial situation. Well, as of now, as I welcome the Honorable Governor of Kerala, Arif Mohammed Khan, a brief introduction about what we are talking about today. Arif Mohammed Khan, first of all, Your Excellency, and if you don't mind, I'll just refer to you as Arif Sahab in the course of the discussion. Arif Sahab, I want to just give my viewers a perspective of what is going on. Right now, Arif Mohammed Khan, the Honorable Governor of Kerala, is in the middle of a massive controversy. Now, this is because there is seen to be a showdown and a direct confrontation between him and the government in Kerala. The Chief Minister on one side, Governor on the other, Governor versus government. Obviously, this battle is at the center of national attention. And their views are very polarized. Some people say Arif Mohammed Khan is a very combative individual. You know, he doesn't compromise, he doesn't mince his words, but he's overstepping. The other side says that the government in Kerala is not comfortable because Arif Mohammed Khan is technically correct in what he's doing. So there is a huge showdown. And I don't know where this showdown is headed, to be very honest. I don't know. Viewers don't know. Journalists don't know. Right now, there's been a battle with a section of the media and Arif Mohammed Khan. So I'm only seeing it becoming bigger and bigger on a daily basis. So just to start with you, first question, Arif Sahab, who is responsible for this showdown? So much has been going on. Let me cut straight to the chase. Who is responsible for the showdown between you and the Chief Minister? Or you and the government? Who has instigated whom? What is the reason for this showdown?
No, actually there is no showdown. Let us put things in a proper perspective. The government the business of the government must run in accordance with law, and constitution is also law. The governor governor's actions are also controlled by law. We have a system in our country right after independence where in every state government is responsible for running the business of the government, and governor has been entrusted with the duty, obligation to run the universities. Why? When the state assemblies passed a law and appointed, this is a statutory position, not constitutional position, a statutory position, when they appointed governors in various states as chancellor of the universities, basically it was a declaration that we respect the concept of the autonomy of the universities, we respect the dignity of intellect, we respect the academia, and there shall be no interference by the executive in the affairs of the universities. If you create a university, unless you will assure the world that it is free from any interference by the government, the academic world will not accept you as a university. You can run the departments, if you want to run the departments of the government, very well. You are free, you change the law and make them departments. But the status of university shall be available only when the academic world is convinced, the UGC is convinced that there is no interference by the executive. Now, the last 3 years' experience, or as it is now clear from the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court, till last year, Kerala had 13 universities. 2 more universities have come into existence. And now, through a judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court, we find that appointment in all 11 universities were made in an irregular and illegal manner. And Honorable Supreme Court, in one case where they have the judgment of the Supreme Court, of course, deals with the case which they are considering, which is before them. But they also lay down law. The judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court is as good as a law passed by Parliament or State Assembly. And they have said that any appointment where the selection committee consists of a non-academic will be void ab initio. From day one, it will be considered illegal. They have said if the selection committee recommends only one name and does not recommend 3 to 5 names as per the UGC regulations, then they have said, where is the choice for the chancellor? He is being forced to appoint, name is being given of only one person, so he will have no choice. This is void. Any appointment made when a single name has been recommended will be void ab initio. Honorable Supreme Court has laid down the law. Now I have a duty. I have a duty not only as Chancellor, but even as Governor of the state to ensure that the law is upheld and things are conducted in a manner which are consistent with the constitutional and legal provisions.
I get it.
Therefore, after this judgment, I'm
saying, without going into the detail, Arif Saab, now the Kerala government has removed you as the sole chancellor of state-run universities, starting with the Kerala Kalamandalam.
They can't remove.
No, I know, but they say we have the power. They say we have the power to make such amendments as state public universities are established by legislatures. So they say we have the power.
I'm not challenging.
Yes.
They should be happy. Then no, but then there should be no issue. If they say they have the power and they have removed me, then what is the issue?
No, what is the issue is something else, I feel, Arif Saab. Arif Saab, the issue is something else. This is a manifestation of the issue. This is not the issue. This whole issue of chancellorship is not the issue.
No.
The issue is you have differences with the Kerala government. There has been, either it's a personality battle between you and Mr. Vijayan, there is a political battle.
No.
It is seen to be part of what people are saying is the larger issue of governors interfering in the functioning of the state government, of Arif Mohammad Khan being like they say he's an agent of the center, and it's a bigger issue. The chancellor issue is only the flashpoint. What is the real issue? Why? Let's address the real issue. What is the real issue?
Okay. Can I respond?
Yeah, sure, please.
When this point was made, made that I am trying to interfere, I have said, give me one single instance. If you are able to substantiate your charge by giving one single instance, where during last 3 years, I have tried to interfere in the administration, in the business of the government, I shall resign from the post of governor. Then why they are not giving any instance? They are not giving because there is nothing. In fact, except they want whatever clash in the past we had, it was only on the universities. They are trying all the time, they try to interfere in my domain, that is the universities. Universities, they have nothing to do. But you see, it is not only after I came here as governor. Most of these appointments, except 2, have been made before me. They are all irregular and illegal. And even after I came here, one vice chancellor, because the act of the what Honorable Supreme Court has made clear is, if the statute of the state is repugnant to the UGC regulations, then UGC regulations would prevail. So in one case which I have done, there was only one name. I held back the file for 2 months and I repeatedly asked this question, why only one name has been sent? And I have put it on record. In the other case, they wanted reappointment of Kannur Vice Chancellor. There I had refused to accept their recommendation.
Why?
But they came
with
the advice of the highest law officer of the state.
What if they say, Arif Saab, that it is our right, it is our privilege, and what is the problem? I mean, if we are sending one name, okay, Arif Mohammed Khan.
They are saying. Honorable Supreme Court has said, in the case of the Calcutta University Vice Chancellor, state government has no role in the appointment of the Vice Chancellor.
But you yourself wrote to the Chief Minister in December last year seeking to be removed from the post of Chancellor of the university so that, in your words, quote, nobody would question the political appointments and interference in these universities.
Nobody, my own words, what I have said at that time after the appointment, because they used the opinion of the Advocate General to force me, and after the opinion came, then I appointed him, but I have written on the file that I am accepting this only because the highest officer, law officer of the state has given his opinion in favor of what you are recommending, but I still feel that this is irregular and illegal, and I don't want you to force me in future. I don't want you. Therefore, I want to be relieved of the responsibility as Chancellor. This I had written, but they realized they cannot do it. Therefore, Chief Minister wrote 3 letters to me urging that I should continue as Chancellor. I rejected all 3 letters. Then the 4th letter, he sent the draft to my office saying that Governor can amend it as he wishes, but he will continue as Chancellor. Then I made certain amendments, sent it back. I said I will not accept any assurance with qualifications. It should be unqualified assurance in written that you will not interfere in the matter of universities. He gave that assurance, but he gave so that I continue as Chancellor, but the interference continued in the universities. Now, since the judgments of the Honorable Supreme Court, one has been given yesterday, they are so crystal clear. Therefore, they feel totally panicked.
Why did he?
Now they won't be able to bulldoze me.
Why did he sack you? I mean, why did he sack you? See, I'm trying to go to the moot issue. You are a governor of a state. You hold a constitutional position. When a chief minister sacks a governor, it makes national headlines. Why have things reached this boiling point?
I think you are using words which are not correct. Who is he to sack me? They can as far as the deemed university is concerned, sponsoring agency has the authority to change the rules. They have changed the rule. But as far as the university, I do not know whether those rules, what change they have proposed, will be accepted by the UGC. I am not sure. But as far as other universities are concerned, They can propose anything. They can propose ordinance. They can even pass a bill in the House. Ultimately, it will come to me. How can they sack me? And since I have already said yesterday that since the target of this this proposed ordinance, or if on future date they pass a bill, if I come to the conclusion that this is only to target me, then I shall not be judge of my own cause. I shall immediately, if I come to the conclusion, then I shall refer the matter to Honorable President for her final decision. Who are they? They cannot, they can only propose. Therefore, you're saying they have sacked you is not right.
No, do you think that they are provoking you to a point where they want you to leave the chair? We say experienced politicians on the other side.
They are not provoking me. They have become totally desperate.
Why?
Because now, after the judgments of the Honorable Supreme Court, there is no way they can pressurize me. Honorable Supreme Court has laid the parameters. If there is any presence of any official on the selection committee, appointment will be void ab initio.
But then one minute. Arif Saab, I understand you've got a very strong technical point on your quote and a legal point, I understand that. But if you allow me, are you also not provoking the Chief Minister and the government? What did you mean when you said that the Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan is patronizing smuggling activities? 7 days ago, you accused the Chief Minister's office of patronizing smuggling activities. It was quoted that you said, and I'm just reading from a report.
Words in my mouth, I will tell. Reports, I have no. Video is there. See the video. What I have said is, why is it that all scams and all illegal activities, when you trace them, they lead you to the Chief Minister's office? Is it incorrect that Chief Minister's alter ego, his private secretary, was arrested in the gold smuggling scam? Is that not correct? Today his political secretary, close relative, was being appointed as associate professor in Kannur University, which I state. Then who are the people who are doing this? Who are sitting in Chief Minister's office? This is a question which I have raised.
Are you okay? So let me put. Are you saying?
I'm not provoking.
Are you saying? No. Let me put it to you specifically. Are you saying that the Chief Minister's office in Kerala,
yes,
is a den of corruption?
I'm not saying that. I am saying that these illegal activities, where action has already been taken, the persons who are responsible for this were sitting and are sitting in CM office. The appointment in Kannur University, it is not only I as Chancellor who has stayed it, but even Honorable High Court has stayed it.
But the people sitting in the Chief Minister's office are sitting, the people sitting in the Chief Minister's office have been made to sit there by him. The Chief Minister surely knows what's happening in his office. So in a way, when you are talking about the Chief Minister's office,
this is exactly the point I am raising, that if you do not know what is happening in your office, then it speaks volumes about your being capable, about your capability. And if you know what your people are doing, then you are sort of promoting all these illegal things.
So you're
this
saying,
is what I'm saying.
You are saying then, you are saying that Pinarayi Vijayan is encouraging illegal things and corruption.
Can there be, do you need greater proof than the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court that all appointments of the Vice Chancellors in Kerala are irregular and illegal? In the light of the judgments of the Supreme Court, that is why I have given them notices. Can there be greater proof? Do you need any other proof?
Are you threatening the government?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I am only requesting them to desist from indulging in activities which are not in accordance with law. If you have, I am asking them to be true to what the Assembly has said on paper. Assembly has, Kerala Legislative Assembly, like other assemblies in the whole country, they have entrusted the job of running the universities to the Chancellor. They have declared to the world that we shall not interfere in the functioning of the universities. You are doing it on a daily basis. Universities, how many cases are pending in the court where on the ground that appointments made there, the appointees are either relatives of the ministers or they are the members of the party, and on that ground they have been appointed.
No, did
How
you,
many cases are
when I
pending
said
in the court?
when I said Arif Saab, now we should be very frank and direct with each other. You put out a tweet on 17th October in which you said, and I quote, statements of individual ministers that lower the dignity of the office of the governor can invite action, including the withdrawal of pleasure. The withdrawal of pleasure. You are a very, very knowledgeable person on the law. You've been a central minister. You've held office. The withdrawal of pleasure is a very major statement. Very major statement. Withdrawal of pleasure from a government. Are you saying that you'll sack the government?
What major?
You said withdrawal of pleasure. What does that mean in constitutional terms, sir?
Nowhere. No. I think in your own conclave where you were present, I had explained that I have consulted every dictionary, including Black's Law Dictionary. Nowhere withdrawal of pleasure means sacking. Nowhere. Withdrawal of pleasure means I have two parts of my oath. One is that I shall protect, preserve and defend the Constitution. And the other part is I shall, to the best of my ability, serve the interest of people of Kerala. Now if I am confronted with a situation where I see something happening which I consider is injurious to the long-term interest of the people of Kerala, and I do not have the legal power to stop it, then what is the way out for me? The only way out is that I let the people of Kerala know this is what is happening. This minister...
I want to challenge you.
Finance minister, where I have withdrawn my pleasure, he was trying to stoke the fires of regionalism and provincialism. He said that somebody born in UP cannot understand the education system of Kerala, as if the higher education system is different in different states. That is all regulated by the UGC. No, he does not even know that BHU is not a state university, it is a central university.
Why can't you ignore, you are a very,
more vice chancellors
you are a very,
South India.
Sir, let me tell you, you are a man with how many years now? More than 4 decades, almost 5 decades in public life and politics. Why can't you ignore these things? Why do you have to react? Why
ignore
if he said something, ignore it.
India? No, ignore threats. I can ignore if somebody says something insulting to me, but I shall never ignore if somebody tries to threaten the unity of India. That I shall never do. In 1986, when I resigned from the government, what was the basic stand which I had taken? I said law is not very important. But the language which was used against the Supreme Court verdict was a challenge to the national unity of India. And you have succumbed before these people. Then I should not have resigned even in 1986.
30 to 40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, BITO has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free Beto glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
So the Chief Minister has said that you are an RSS camp follower. He has said that you should be a detached figure. He says that you should uphold the dignity of your office, not be a RSS camp follower.
You can change a government. You can't change a people. It is the people of India who are electing the government at the center.
BJP state president walking towards the protesters, demanding the resignation of Arya Rajendran, the mayor. At the same time, water cannons and tear gas are being used.
They want you to resign. Isn't it obvious to you, Mr. Khan? Now that you've used the resign word, I'll say it clearly to you. They want you to resign.
The law says the governor shall be chancellor. He cannot resign. Even when I had written the letter to the Chief Minister, I had said, make alternative statutory arrangements.
From the first rally spot of Anurag Thakur, this is Shimla Grameen. People here, women, children, youngsters, elders have come out. First time I'm seeing early in the morning.
Tiffu Jayanti celebrations, there has been a low-key response for this entire celebrations in the Hubballi Eidgah Maidan.
The BJP is taking out a massive protest outside the corporation demanding resignation of the mayor of Thiruvananthapuram.
Yes. I get my point. 1986, you mentioned it to me. I remember it clearly. But Arif Mohammad Khan, 1986, you were in your 30s. You were an angry young man. Why are you an angry young man today? Why can't you ignore it with time? Why don't you say let it be?
This may be, if that was the reaction of an angry young man, then the whole politics of India would not have changed in a manner in which it did after 1986. That was my deeply held belief. Even today, that is there. If somebody tries to insult me personally, say things which are unfair to me personally, I will ignore it. But if somebody tries to challenge the unity of India, integrity of India, that too after taking oath to protect the unity and integrity of India, that will not go
now since I hope you don't get too angry at my next question, but I will ask it nevertheless. The problem is that, you know, when we are doing but I will ask you nevertheless, you know, there's absolutely no problem. But you must listen to my full question and then you can...
No, you have to ask it for your viewers.
No, not for my viewers, for myself, yes, for myself. Arif Saab.
Yeah.
My question will take a little time, 30 seconds. Did you breach constitutional powers with respect to the Kerala Finance Minister? And the detail of it is this. Were you or were you not breaching your constitutional power when you asked for action to be taken against the Finance Minister K.N. Balagopal? Irrespective of what he said, whatever your views are, that he's made a comment which affects the country, unity of the country, etc. You said he had ceased to enjoy your pleasure. Were you, and my specific question is, misreading the specific article 164(1) of the Constitution of India as an individual pleasure when it actually means a constitutional pleasure?
Your question is complete?
Complete.
I have certainly not breached anything. This is my duty, my dharma, to restrain anybody who tries to challenge the national unity and integrity of India. If I am not capable, competent enough to do that, I should not be in the office. Therefore, I totally disagree with you. This is my primary duty. You know why the institution of governors was created? India has been politically fragmented for thousands of years. Our political unity is a recent phenomenon, but India was culturally and spiritually united thanks to a son of Kerala who in the last millennium, at the young age, he went all over the country and made people aware of that cultural and spiritual unity. I recently on 31st, Delhi, I delivered Sardar Patel Memorial Lecture. And I said there that but for the foundation laid by great Shankaracharya, it would not have been possible for Sardar Patel, great leader, to build the political, to achieve the political unity of India. Now, governor institution was created because for thousands of years, our mind has been attuned to political fragmentation, and cultural unity was there, but political fragmentation there. Therefore, governor, the institution is absolutely necessary to keep an eye on those who, under the influence of that legacy, raise voices and weaken the unity of India. That is the basic purpose, basic reason why the institution of governor was created. Therefore, if I fail to take notice of such thing, then I shall be failing in my duty.
To which my follow-up is this. Personally, I believe that you are a very strategic thinker. You are, I mean, if you don't mind my analysis of you as a personality, you are volatile, you are impulsive, but you speak your mind, but you're also very strategic. And your critics feel that there is a strategy to what Arif Muhammad Khan is doing today. And this is their understanding of the strategy. They say that Arif Muhammad Khan intended to fight a lengthy court case and win because he wants to ultimately play the role of the opposition. You have been fiercely criticizing the government, whether it's about nepotism or the workings of the Chief Minister's office, but they say ultimately, he wants to play the role of an opposition. And they are saying, how can a governor holding a constitutional post make charges against the elected head of the state when there is no conviction in the case? Further, and I'll expand on this, they say this governor-chancellor issue is giving a wonderful opportunity for Arif Muhammad Khan to score a legal victory, to put down the state government. 9 Kerala VCs have moved the Kerala High Court against your order. Were you trying to make a statement by seeking the removal of the 9 VCs? If not, why try to seek their removal only now? You tried to sack 9 VCs. Now the Kerala government finds a loophole, removes you from the constitutional position. Why are these VCs so important to the government? Are they also using the case to fight you? And are you also using the case to fight them? I believe that's what's going on is a big fight. It's a big fight with Arif Muhammad Khan on one side, Pinarayi Vijayan state government. It's not only about the chancellor. Both sides are using this issue to fight each other. And you are also preparing yourself because you intend to fight a very long legal court case against them and win. And they are also trying to find the technical loophole. And I know that you do agree with me from how you're responding to my question. You do agree with me. There's a reality to what's going on. No, yes, sir. Over to you.
I may or may not agree with you, but what you are saying is does not really reflect the factual position. I can't speak about the other party, but I can speak about myself. I was feeling very uncomfortable with the interference in the universities which I was seeing on a daily basis. I did not act. Why I did not act? I was not sure about what really should be done in this situation, except that I wrote to the Chief Minister that I can't tolerate this interference and therefore relieve me of my duty as Chancellor. But now, when I start, why will be a long legal battle? Honorable Supreme Court has already laid down the law. There is a question of any long battle. You can't go and file a case against the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. There is no prospect of any legal battle. In fact, another one issue which was not clear in the earlier decisions has been made clear by the Honorable Supreme Court yesterday in the case of Uttarakhand University, where they have said that even interim arrangement, acting vice chancellors will be appointed in accordance with UGC regulations. There is a question of any legal battle. Which court in India will entertain case which challenges the law laid down by the Honorable Supreme Court? I do not know who has briefed you about it, but this is not this does not reflect the factual position. The factual position is Honorable Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, has laid down the law. The law is laid down by them. I am duty bound to implement them in all the universities which come under my jurisdiction. And the reason why they are so desperate is that they do not see any.
It's getting worse.
Anything.
But it's getting
where
worse.
They can get some relief.
It's getting worse. You see, the citizens of this country enjoy politics to some extent. At one point, the citizen says, a young person watching this program today, Arif Mohammad Khan, I spoke about you as the angry young man of the 80s. A young person today is seeing this and saying, what is going on? Pinarayi Vijayan is first used to refer to Arif Mohammad Khan as a stooge of the central government. Now he's calling you, quote, a tool of the RSS. All lines have been crossed on all sides. You are saying the Chief Minister's office, there is corruption in the Chief Minister's office. He is saying you are a tool of the RSS. Where is this going to end? This can't end only in a court of law.
I have not said. I have not said. Please don't put words in my mouth. I have not said that. I have said that every major scam and every illegal activity is finally traced to people who are sitting in Chief Minister's office. This is what I have said.
Yeah, that's what I quoted you as saying. I didn't say Chief Minister, I said Chief Minister's office.
Good. If they are saying, my only problem, you should see it in the proper perspective. I have said, if other than universities, they come by law, not as governor, but as chancellor, they come under my jurisdiction. Bharat Ratna, Dr. C.N. Rao, in his speech here in Kerala, he said, the problem with the universities is that power is with the vice chancellor. Power is with the chancellor to discipline them. But because he is governor, therefore he avoids interfering. And the government does not have any power. So government uses its influence to make them do what they want them to do. So please try to understand. I have already said, if other than universities, I have tried any interference anywhere in the administration, you give one instance and I shall resign. They are not able to.
They want you to resign. Isn't it obvious to you, Mr. Khan? Mr. Khan, now that you've used the resign word, I'll say it clearly to you. They want you to resign. They don't want you in Raj Bhavan. Isn't it obvious to you?
No, that position cannot be. My God, that position, as long as I am governor, the law says the governor shall be chancellor. He cannot resign. Even when I had written the letter to the Chief Minister,
I'm not talking of the chancellor position, sir. I am saying that the Kerala government which has had a long-standing series of differences with you, would love to see you resign as the governor of Kerala. They would love to see you in any other state, but not in Kerala anymore.
As the governor, but I do not know where you have read it. What I have read is, which the party secretary has spoken. He said if the X goes, Y comes. It is basically the RSS who is running the show. They have not demanded my resignation as governor. I do not know where you got it from. They have said if X goes, Y will come. And they are all being controlled by RSS. This is what he has said.
No, the chief minister has said that you are an RSS camp follower.
No, never, not demanded my resignation.
Not demanding resignation. He has said that you should be a detached figure according to the according to the.
Demanding my resignation.
No. He says that you should uphold the dignity of your office. You should be a detached figure and not be a RSS camp follower.
That is different.
Louder.
Oh, that is different. But he has not asked for my resignation because, as far as I know, officially they have said if he goes, another man comes who will also be RSS, according to them, RSS agent. So how can you help them? You can change a government. You can't change a people. It is the people of India who are giving, are electing the government at the center.
Why did you?
It is not any particular organization.
You can have any number of issues. But if you are democratic, Mr. Khan, where I feel, and I would want to put this across to you, where I have a difference of opinion from you, but I'd like your response to it, is vis-a-vis your fight with the media. You asked two channels, journalists from two channels, Kairali TV and Media One, you told them to leave your press interaction. Leave your press interaction. You said these channels are working as, they have an established political line, etc. You have banned 4 TV channels, including Kairali News and Media One, from your press.
No, not 4.
2.
First of all, I have not banned anyone. What I have said is, I shall not talk to Kerala and Media One. Why I shall not talk to them? Because I am unable to make distinction between CPM and Kerala. It is not media. I do not recognize them as media. They are propaganda cell of
correct.
CPM.
Now that's what you said.
So is the case with Media One, who are propaganda cell. Let me complete, please. They are the propaganda cell of Jamaat-e-Islami. And you must have seen so many articles by very erudite scholars who hold Maududi, the founder of Jamaat-e-Islami, responsible for the terrorism which we have seen in the
Mr. Khan,
in so many countries.
Mr. Khan, may I give you a contrary perspective, and then I'd love you to respond to it. See, Mr. Khan, fact of the matter is, any channel operating in our country gets a license from the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. The right to broadcast is given after due checks by the government of India. If anybody wants to ban a channel from broadcasting, it has to be the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, which must take away the license. Now, where my disagreement with you is this. Any individual, an institution, a constitutional post like yourself or a political party, when it denies access, if you don't want to take a question, you don't take a question. But where I think what you cannot do, and where I would again like to tell you where I feel that you may have overstepped, is where you say, I will not allow you. You can't deny physical access to a reporter of any channel. Allow them to ask the question. You may or may not choose to respond, but I feel, and I'm telling you this, please don't think I am not I don't agree or disagree with channels individually. I don't agree with the many other channels who are operating right now. They don't agree with me. But I always say one thing. I said the weakness of the Congress party, which I colloquially call the Vadra Congress, is that they deny entry to a Republic TV reporter into their party office. I feel that's undemocratic. I feel that is undemocratic, and where I feel, I would request you, and I'm saying this individually, where I feel that perhaps you may reconsider your view, is that I don't think media groups, you may respond in whichever way appropriate, but I don't think you can ban media groups depending on your perception of the media group, the questions they have, or the line they take. That's my view, and I'd like you to respond to that.
Well, who am I to ban any channel? I can decide about myself whom I want to talk to and whom I don't want to talk to. And the reason is that the Raj Bhavan puts out a tweet, and the Kerali replaces the words. The PRO of the Raj Bhavan calls them and says these words which you are using are not part of the tweet. And they say that we will correct it, and they do not correct it and continue to broadcast it for 24 hours. Will you tell me what I should do?
40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, BITO has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free BITO glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
From the first rally spot of Anurag Thakur, this is Shimla Grameen. People here, women, children, youngsters, elders have come out. First time I'm seeing early in the morning.
Tipu Jayanti celebrations, there has been a low-key response for this entire celebrations in the Hubballi Idgah Maidan.
The BJP is taking out a massive protest outside the corporation demanding resignation of the mayor of Thiruvananthapuram.
Who is responsible for this showdown between you and the Chief Minister?
Let us put things in a proper perspective. Government is responsible for running the business of the government, and governor has been entrusted with the duty, obligation to run the university. Honorable Supreme Court has laid down the law. Now I have a duty not only as Chancellor but even as Governor of the state.
2000 से ज्यादा मोटरसाइकिल सवार आज यहां उतरे हैं अनुराग ठाकुर और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के समर्थन में, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के समर्थन में.
Property of the Jamaat Islami that has
You can write to them. You can have your point of view heard. If you disagree, you can go legally on them. But you can't say I will not have the reporter in my press conference.
I can't. Sorry?
You can't say I won't have the reporter of this channel which is accredited allowed into my press interactions. That is.
Well, that may be your view.
Yes.
But if somebody replaces the words in my tweet, I am not going to talk to them. It is. Secondly, I have not called any press conference. They are requesting to meet me. I will meet persons whom I feel that I don't see any chance of their distorting what I say. I have not called a press conference. They are sending requests, and I am saying to you, I don't want to meet. What is wrong with that?
Okay, let's say, okay, see, I'm only interviewing you, but let's say that let's move on from this saying, with my also saying that individually, I'm not in agreement with you on this, but I want to go to my next question, which is very specific. In this last 5 to 6 minutes of the interview, I want to go very specific with you. And my question to you is, will you or are you at any point of time thinking of stepping down as governor? You've been in the Congress party formally for over 5 years. You said that you were sticking to your moral stance when you which you publicly took in Parliament over the legislation overturning the Shah Bano judgment. You did not think of your position.
Yes.
Or you took a moral stance. People were shocked. You staked your political career. Right? So are you ready to step down as governor if it comes to it?
Why? Do I face any moral crisis today? What is the crisis today before me?
Complete and absolute disagreement with the state government, real issues, day-to-day functioning.
So?
Not smooth.
It is not question
legal
of
battles.
disagreement. It is not question of disagreement. No, it is not question of this. There is no legal battle. That is only somewhere stuck in your mind. There is no legal battle. Law has been settled by Honorable Supreme Court. There is no greater court or authority. The only thing is, I do not intervene. I do not interfere with the administration. They have no business to interfere in the universities. The Honorable Supreme Court has clearly laid down, they don't have anything to do, even in the matter of the appointment of the Vice Chancellors. The moral issue is before them. All the appointments they had recommended, they were illegal and irregular, and one of them has been declared to be void ab initio by the Honorable Supreme Court. The moral question is before them, not before me. I have been insisting on these things. But now position has been cleared by the highest court in the land. So where is my question? Where is the question of my entertaining this thought? There is no moral crisis before me. Moral crisis is before them. It is the appointments which they had recommended. And I had, at least in 2 cases, I had objected to that, and I had put my objections on the paper. And they have been upheld by the Honorable Supreme Court. I do not know where you get this idea from. No, please do not forget that Professor C.N. Let me complete. Professor C.N.R. Rao has said that bright students of Kerala, after 10+2, they migrate to other states. Professor K.M. Panikar, who was Vice Chancellor and also Chairman of the Higher Education Council, he has said the same thing in his article. And Professor Rao says that research in Kerala universities has come to a standstill because of this migration. Why migration? Because the young people in Kerala feel that all positions in the universities and under the government have been reserved for the CPM cadre and their relatives.
Okay, so here's one thing.
Come and see Trivandrum today.
No.
See the streets of Trivandrum today. People are on the road. The corporation has asked the party secretary. They have said 295 positions are vacant, temporary positions, and party secretary is being asked to send a list of persons who can be appointed against those posts.
So, Mr. Khan, obviously you feel that the government is not doing its job.
There is no moral crisis before me.
You feel there is corruption. You feel there are illegal activities.
So why I should resign? No, but then why I should resign?
Does this government have your confidence?
So because of their failure, I should resign.
Does this government have your confidence?
No, I am asking you because they have failed.
No. But does this government have your confidence?
No, the question is my confidence. Let me reply. You have asked this question 3 times. Let me reply. My question is all dependent on, as far as the Chief Minister is concerned, as long as majority is there and majority has confidence in him. I have said it earlier also, that if I feel uncomfortable with any decision of the government, my duty is to let the people know. Not that I will act against him. I will not act against him unless the constitutional machinery collapses.
Do you think the government will seek a recalling of you as the governor? Because on the 24th of October in a press conference, when Pinarayi Vijayan was asked about the government taking steps to remove you from the post, he said, and I quote, "If needed, the government will go for such an option." Now in Tamil Nadu, the DMK has already written to the president to recall Governor R.N. Ravi. Do you see this situation in Kerala as well?
I treat these comments with the contempt which they deserve. Let them do. Who am I to stop them? But these threats cannot stop me from performance of my duties. That is absolutely clear. And now that Honorable Supreme Court had made the position crystal clear, I will ensure that there is no interference in the universities, and universities' autonomy is protected, and there is no favoritism and nepotism. There are no appointments on that basis in the universities. Now, there is no way anybody can stop any governor, not just me, any governor who is chancellor. No government will be able to stop any chancellor now from ensuring the autonomy of the university.
Last question. I have a feeling after this whole 45-minute interaction, Arif Mohammad Khan, bless you, that you are going to fight it out. It seems to me you're really sort of, you're readying for a long haul fight if required. Are you ready to fight it out in the long haul, to stand by what you believe in?
I do not agree with your I do not agree with your assessment. There is going to be any long haul fight. That fight has come to end. I have been fighting this battle since last 3 years, and now this battle has come to an end with the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. Now everything has been made crystal clear. Where is the question of any fight now? Are you going to fight against the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court? There is no question of any long haul fight now. Now, though, it is a question of some time, few days, maybe few months, when the process for the appointment of new vice chancellors without any interference by the government will start, and we will have reputed academics, not the party cadre. We will have them appointed. Selection committee will have, UGC representative will be there, university representative will be there, chancellor's nominee will be there, and they will be told that they have to go purely on merit. No favoritism, no nepotism.
Well, Arif Mohammad Khan has been a man in the eye of the storm many times, but he started the interview by saying Supreme Court stands by my view. He ends it that way. But I personally believe there's a lot of political volatility in Kerala right now, and whether he likes it or not, he's there in the eye of the storm again. Arif Mohammad Khan, always enjoyable to talk to you. Always a pleasure and really enjoyable to talk to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
To 40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, BITO has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free Bito glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
The main accused in the Bargari sacrilege case, Pradeep Singh, has been shot dead by two bike-borne gunmen at Kotakpura in Faridkot.
3 arrests have been made, 2 Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists and 1 of their helper. Big success for the Jammu police as they have busted this major terror module. This was the tanker that was being used by the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists to sneak into the weapons from the Jammu to the Kashmir Valley.
So the Chief Minister has said that you are an RSS camp follower. He has said that you should be a detached figure. He says that you should uphold the dignity of your office, not be a RSS camp follower.
You can change a government. You can't change a people. It is the people of India who are electing the government at the center.
BJP state president walking towards the protesters, demanding the resignation of Arya Rajendran, the mayor. At the same time, water cannons and tear gas are being used.
want you to resign. Isn't it obvious to you, Mr. Khan, now that you've used the resign word?
Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for the Army Chief. When we were playing this video, a lot of people said that, can we have the video? So yes, I'll WhatsApp it to you. Yeah, it's an excellent video. I have a list of questions that I'm going to ask the Chief, and we'll get the conversation going. The intent is to talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, arming the army. So obviously, here the intent is that every nation must have its own indigenous research and development, its own indigenous manufacturing to be called a superpower. Every superpower has that. America has that, England, Russia, China, you name it and they have it. India too must develop that capability. So with your permission, we'll start, sir.
Yeah, please.
And the first question that I have is that the Indian Army is currently undergoing a transformational change by modernization through Atmanirbharta, sir. Restructuring of formations and implementing a new HR policy, Agnipath, while undergoing optimization as per recommendations of the Committee of Experts. With Indian Army deployed along two active borders, how is force undertaking this transformation management without compromising its operational preparedness?
Right. Thank you, Gaurav, for this question. And like you rightly mentioned, we are undertaking a number of transformational initiatives, essentially to make the army more modern, future-ready force to be able to meet contemporary and future challenges in the battlefield. And these transformation initiatives span across different domains, right from the capability development to the HR management philosophy or the Agnipath philosophy that you mentioned, as also the Atmanirbhar or achieving self-reliance, as well as restructuring or right-sizing our army. And of course, I don't have to say as to what have been the drivers for this change. Largely the unprecedented changes that are happening in the geostrategic domain, combined with, we have seen the limitless potential of disruptive technologies. Also, there are certain changes in the socio-economic domain and, of course, most importantly, the changing character of war. Now, this is what has actually necessitated that we undertake these transformation initiatives. And largely the purpose, I would say, would be to increase our efficiency and enhance effectiveness in all domains, be it the operational, functional, or the administrative domains. So that is, the background as to why we are doing these transformational initiatives. Now, while all this is happening, it is extremely important, like you mentioned, that we do not lower our guard as far as our deployment commitments on the western borders, as well as the northern borders, as well as in various internal security situation commitments are concerned. So it is extremely critical that while this transformation is happening, we keep this in mind all the time. And how we are doing this, I would say we are following a sort of 4-step process. At the apex level, it is the setting up the right policy framework. Next comes establishing the mechanisms by which all these 4 or 5 things must happen together. Then is the execution part. And lastly, there is also a cognitive interface, which I feel is extremely important. And I'll just take up some time to explain each one of these. Sure. So at the apex level, insofar as the policy frame is concerned, it is the strategic guidance which we've given. As also there are other stakeholders. It's not purely the army which is undertaking this transformation. There are other departments within the ministry, as also there are other ministries and agencies who we need to take them along while we do this transformation. So that is one. As far as the second part, that is establishing the mechanisms are concerned, we are looking at the 4 pillars. The first one is the restructuring and the right sizing. Second one is optimization. The third one is the HR management philosophy. And fourth is modernization. And for each of these, we have prepared a transformation roadmap clearly laying down what are the waypoints and what are the various timelines for review at each stage. And within the Army headquarters, we have identified the verticals. Each vertical will look after the individual transformation initiative. And within these verticals, there are cross linkages, which are as important. So it is important that each of these verticals talk to each other. And then at the apex level, I have the Vice Chief of the Army Staff who was overseeing this entire thing. So this is the kind of mechanism we are having. I mentioned at the executional level, I believe the role of the junior leaders, the field force, our formation commanders, battalion commanders, is going to be extremely important in all of these four. I also mentioned about the cognitive interface, and this is being led by our Army Training Command, because I believe change management is an extremely important part. And they have come up with a change management philosophy wherein we have explained to right from our senior leadership right up to the lowest rung of leadership as to how we need to bring about this attitudinal change, how we need to change the approach, how we need to look at things differently for this whole thing to be put together. So that in a sense is how we are approaching this. And while all this is happening, it is extremely important, the way you pointed out, that our operational preparedness levels along the border are in no way diluted. So in terms of, shall we say, the troops that are deployed there, the strength that we need to have in units, the equipment, the sustenance, the ammunition, etc., I wish to assure you that that has all been taken care of through this mechanism that I just described. And it is not as if this transformation is happening over the next, within a finite time. It's an incremental process. It will take time. But yes, we have the end state. We know where we are reaching. And we have a very, like I was trying to explain, a firm plan to achieve those objectives of the end state.
So what does the Army feel about Atmanirbhar Bharat? What is the feeling, what is the sensing within the Army about Atmanirbhar Bharat, and what are the indigenously manufactured weapons and equipment that you see the Indian Army inducting over a period of the next few years, sir?
So let me start by, taking you back to the pandemic days. And during the pandemic, the frailty, the vulnerability of the global supply chains adequately came to the fore, be it the supply of your PPE or other vaccines and the likes. I mean, the requirement of self-reliance or becoming self-dependent adequately came out. Then you had the situation that came about along the northern borders, more or less the same time. And more recently, the impact of the Russia-Ukraine conflict on our sustenance requirements of our defense equipment, etc. Now that again told us very clearly that you cannot rely on foreign dependence for our capital procurement requirements, as also more importantly for the sustenance requirements. And hence, I think it has become a strategic necessity that we develop our own capacities, we become self-dependent, self-reliant, or in other words, Atmanirbhar in all these fields. So that is how I look at the importance of Atmanirbharta as we move forward. As far as the other aspect, how we are looking at it, I think there are a number of advantages. And if I were to list out some of them, I think first and foremost is in terms of, our industry being able to meet our peculiar requirements of weapon systems, etc., to meet our operational conditions, terrain conditions and the likes. The second is the confidence that it gives you in terms of our sustenance requirements, which I just highlighted. And whenever you require, you can ramp up the supply requirements, you can ramp up the production or manufacturing ability. Third, I think it's a good opportunity. You have a very vibrant startup ecosystem. We have bright, brilliant young minds, technologically very good. So this is a good opportunity for them to step up and contribute to the defense sector. Fourth, I think it is also a matter of great pride and ownership. After all, if you have a soldier who's utilizing or he's armed with the equipment or a weapon system which is indigenously manufactured, so there is that fourth aspect of it. I visited some of these industries, big and small, and I think the kind of manufacturing facilities they have, kind of research processes that they are undertaking, it gives me great confidence. And they have been able to deliver. Most of them have stepped up to meet our requirements. So I think in terms of Atmanirbharta, as far as Army goes, I think we are fully convinced. And we are doing our part, we are playing our role proactive. Your second part as to what are the equipment that you're looking at, if I were to briefly tell you, when you look at an infantry soldier, of course, we're looking at a future infantry soldier system as to what kind of protection, how can he have better situational awareness, a better personal weapon, how can he communicate better. So this is as far as the infantry goes, and other long range of small arms weapons. As far as the artillery goes, it is different types of our 155mm caliber guns, which we have accepted to be the basic or finally the caliber of the weapon that we will choose. Then there are aspects of long-range rocket systems, better munitions, more precision-guided weapons, and likewise. In the realm of mechanized forces, we are looking at a future infantry combat vehicle, a future ready armored vehicle, and the likes, see-through armament, and a number of those things. For aviation, we are looking at drones, counter-drones systems, as well as the light combat helicopter, light utility helicopters, and in communication, the software-defined radios, and likewise. So these are specific areas that we're looking at as far as Atmanirbharta goes.
So you mentioned a startup ecosystem, so you spoke about it and you said that you visited a lot of these places and it gives you a lot of confidence that these youngsters are doing such a fine job. Now, my question to you, sir, what is the Indian Army doing? Is the Indian Army helping private manufacturers? Is it funding private manufacturers? Is it helping with the research and development? Is it leading the way in sorts? Because there has to be acceptability from within the army that yes, we are part of this ecosystem. And we are not just consumers, we are part of this entire ecosystem, sir. What do you feel about that?
You know, about 7-8 years back, we started this process of indigenization, initially by transfer of technology, and which complemented the Make in India initiative. Yes. And that is how the technology came in. But we realized that after all, if you are going to rely on technology which is coming from outside, nations are not going to share with you the niche technology. So you will always remain, as we say, a bound behind in terms of leveraging technology. And hence, I think the importance of developing our own R&D and developing technologies indigenously. Also, I must tell you, in terms of the niche technologies, their research, design and development, and the manufacturing ecosystem, I feel there are 4 essential pillars that we need to look at. One is the resource allocation, second is the enabling policies, third is the viable market, and fourth is competitiveness. Sure. Now, if these 4 things you are able to get together and provide to the private industry, they will step up. And within all this, we need to understand what is the role of the services. And I feel the role of the services is to be enablers for implementation of the government policies, as well as to be able to provide a viable market. In terms of private industry and the hand-holding, I'll give you about 5-6 bullet points as to how we are doing it. One, of course, is we're looking at a concept of spiral development. So initially you give a requirement, and subsequently, even if, let us say, industry is not able to reach up to that, so we look at a spiral development. At each stage, you look at better outcomes or better performance. We are also very proactively engaging with all the premier academic institutes in our country. We have about 20 projects going with them, for about 60 odd crores. We have an Indian Army cell currently, which we have set it up in the IIT Delhi. And we plan to set up these cells next in IIT Kanpur and the IISc Bangalore. Because the aim is then to pick up on the technologies where these academia and these young brilliant minds are able to contribute and meet our requirements. We have also been helping the private industry in a number of other ways in terms of providing them the trial testing facilities, providing them our equipment for undertaking trials. Then there are these IDEX Innovation and Defense Excellence projects. Currently we have, I think, 40 of them, where almost 182 industries have taken part. And then there is the Technology Development Fund with the DRDO. We currently have, I think, 6 projects, again, about 60 to 70 crores. So this is how this entire private industry, and this is how we, and so now we are looking at the relationship between the industry and the military or the army, not as a buyer-seller relationship, but more as a partnership. I mean, that is what my purpose has been, and I have been trying to explain to my sort of leaders. And I also believe in another thing. We now need to indigenize to modernize. Because indigenously we do have all the technologies, right, from maybe 5G and what have you. So there is potential. It's all here. It is critical for us to be able to synergize and come up with these models as to how it can be then put to good use to meet defense requirements.
Sir, I'm going to ask you a question about the Ukraine-Russia conflict, sir. And much of the held beliefs, which we thought were true over a period of decades, this war has completely smashed them. Like, for example, we never thought that a war in this day and age will last for so many months.
Absolutely.
It started off in the month of February, sir. It shows no sign of ending as we speak today, sir. And so many other things like massed artillery and these tank warfare. We thought these were things of the past. We thought these were remnants of the Second World War. That was the thinking, sir. So what are the lessons that we have learned from the Russia-Ukraine conflict? So what are the lessons for the Indian Army?
Right, so we've been following these developments very closely. And to my way of thinking, there are lessons right from the tactical level to the strategic level that we need to, that we can learn. But we have to see their relevance in the Indian context. And it will not be correct to blindly extrapolate them and apply them in our context. Insofar as the lessons are concerned, I think one of the most important lesson is that the hard power will still continue to be used by nations where other means fail to achieve their national objectives. The second, like you mentioned, there was a belief that the conventional wars are a passe, but that doesn't, it has, I think, disproved this hypothesis. The relevance of land power, perhaps, or the primacy of land power, again, I feel is something which has been, adequately brought out in this war. In terms of grey zone, I think that is a strategy of choice for certain nations to achieve their national objectives, especially with the deniability. It is also an alternate strategy wherein you can utilize both non-kinetic as well as kinetic means at a sub-threshold level to again achieve your war aims. So these are some of the major lessons. Insofar technology infusion is concerned, you rightly mentioned, you had drones, counter drones, you had cyber warfare, you had space, the communications. So there are, in these domains as well, there are a number of lessons that we need to. But perhaps the most profound lesson for us will again be the importance of being self-reliant to reduce dependence on global supply chains and outside import for meeting our defense requirements. So these are some of the lessons that we are closely looking at, besides lessons applicable to each arm and service.
So my next question to you is, sir, what is the situation along the northern borders as we speak today, sir? We've been facing stress there for some time, sir. And there has been a face-off with the PLA. And the Indian Army, of course, acquitted itself wonderfully, sir, most professionally. But what is the real situation along the northern borders, and have we transitioned to a winter posture?
Right, so in a single sentence, if I were to describe, I'll say the situation is stable but unpredictable, right? And you are aware of the ongoing talks, right, at the political, diplomatic, at the military level, which have been going on between the two sides. You are also aware, because of these talks, we have been able to find resolution in 5 out of the 7 friction points which were on the table. And it is for the next 2 friction points that we are attempting to find resolution. And the 25th round of the WMCC, which took place on 15th October, I think has set the stage. We are looking at the next date for the 17th round. And that is where I believe through talks, through negotiation, to dialogue, we hope to find resolution in these 2 areas. Now, as far as the PLA strength, the force levels are concerned, there has been no significant reduction. While there were certain formations, some of their brigades which had come for the purposes of collective training, with the onset of mentors, there are indications of their going back. But on the LAC itself, there is no reduction of strength. In terms of infrastructure development, I think that is going on unabated. You have infrastructure in terms of road infrastructure, helipads, the airfield, including the roads right up to the passes. One of the notable developments has been the G695, and you would have read about it, a road or a highway which is running parallel to the LAC, which will give him the ability to not only move forces forward but also switch forces from one sector to another. So that is as far as the infrastructure goes. Insofar our preparations are concerned, our transition to the winter posture is currently underway, but we've also made sure that we have adequate forces, adequate reserves to be able to deal with this contingency. But in a larger context, I think we need to very carefully calibrate our actions on the LAC to be able to safeguard both our interests and sensitivities, yet be prepared to deal with all types of contingencies. So that is how I think the current situation on the LAC I would describe.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
They want you to resign. Isn't it obvious to you, Mr. Khan? Now that you've used the resign word, I'll say it clearly to you. They want you to resign.
The law says the governor shall be chancellor. He cannot resign. Even when I had written the letter to the chief minister, I had said, make alternative statutory arrangements.
From the first rally spot of Anurag Thakur, this is Shimla Grameen. People here, women, children, youngsters, elders have come out. First time I'm seeing early in the morning.
Tipu Jayanti celebrations, there has been a low-key response for this entire celebrations in the Hubballi Idgah Maidan.
The BJP is taking out a massive protest outside the corporation demanding resignation of the mayor of Thiruvananthapuram.
Who is responsible for this showdown between you and the chief minister?
Let us put things in a proper perspective. Government is responsible for running the business of the government, and governor has been entrusted with the duty, obligation to run the university. Honorable Supreme Court has laid down the law. Now I have a duty not only as chancellor but even as governor.
Sir, after this entire Ukraine-Russia conflict, so there has been a lot of talk about kamikaze drones and new technologies, disruptive technologies, sir. And the use of technology. This war has thrown up so many possibilities. We always had drones, sir. And Indian Army has had drones for a very long time. But a new kind of drone, which to me at least it was new, sir. These kind of kamikaze drones hitting tanks and hitting armored vehicles and personal carrier from up above and So many other things happen. So how's the Indian Army embracing these new technologies, these new disruptive technologies? Because they're moving at a very, very rapid rate. So what is our plan? How are we doing it, sir?
No, you're absolutely right. So leveraging niche technologies or new technologies has been an essential component or a pillar of our capability development or modernization plans. And we must make sure that whatever these technologies are available, some of them that you described and many more, we are able to, in good time, able to apply them, adopt them in our defense requirements. So that is something which is extremely critical. Now, as to what we are doing it, some of it I already covered. Our interaction with the academic institutes, premier academic institutes, our interaction, our engagement with the startups as to how we are doing it. I mentioned about the spiral development. But I'd like to give a few examples. So let us say in the field of artificial intelligence, we have been able to successfully use an AI software to fuse our intelligence input from various, surveillance sources that you are aware of, that you have along the border.
Sure.
That we have been successfully able to do. We have also our project wherein we want to, for change detection, change recognition in satellite imageries is another area where I think we have made good headway. In terms of quantum key distribution, we've been able to achieve a single hop range of something like 119 kilometers, which I believe is again a good positive step, and this is in the actual operational conditions in the area of Eastern Ladakh. So in each of these, I think we are making good headway, and this is where specifically areas where interacting with the startups, the academic institutes, likewise the software defined radios. Right, so this is what our approach to this has been, and we believe that even if there are 20 things that we are trying, if we succeed in, let us say 7, 8, 10, that itself is a good beginning. So we are not looking at a 100% success rate in all this. So that has been our approach. Let us try, let us have maximum people come up, and our experience has been that it has worked well.
So my last question is, sir, that of late the Indian Army has tried to get its acquisition game right by fully utilizing the fast-track procedures and emergency enhanced powers granted to its senior officers. Now, can you give us some details of why and how it worked? Because we have heard about shortfall of ammunition. It came up in the parliament a few years back, sir. And shortfall of weapons. Plus, we have, sir, 2 nuclear-armed rivals with whom we have fought wars. So how is this entire acquisition game being played out by the Indian Army, and what is the Indian Army doing, sir?
So the emergency procurement provision as part of the FTP or the fast track procedure was a provision or a waiver granted to the services, and we've had so far 3 tranches. The first happened after Uri, then was Balakot, and then was the situation post what happened in Eastern Ladakh. And the aim there was, or the purpose was, to meet the emergent operational requirements of forward troops deployed especially in Eastern Ladakh or along our northern borders. That was the purpose of the last EP or the emergency procurement provision that was granted. And that enables the service headquarters to procure, or the vice chiefs, something to the tune of 300 crores for each of the contracts. And this is something which we have been able to successfully use. And the aim is to buy certain quantities initially, to try them in the field formation in forward areas. And based on the feedback, based on the success, that would form the basis of our major capital procurement cases. In the past, we've had about 68 EP cases, about 6,000 crores or thereabouts. And these have again spanned from various different domains, right from surveillance, your drones, your jammers, your counter jammers, your protected, mobility protected vehicles, and the likes. So this has worked out well. In the latest provision which has been granted, incidentally, out of those 68 cases, 50% were indigenous, and out of those 50%, Another 50% were for MSMEs. So this was a good opportunity, and there was a lot of enthusiasm among the startup ecosystem for this, just as it is for the fourth tranche. So this has worked well. This has also enabled us to try out, test new technologies, which can be developed or which can be fielded by prospective vendors in that limited period of 6 months. So this is the two-pronged approach we are following. On one hand, technology which has already been tested and tried, where you don't have to go through extensive trials, yet there are also certain cases where we want to try out new technologies. And because of this, I think there is a lot of interest, lot of enthusiasm generated amongst our defense industry, and our aim is to capitalize on this and move forward.
Sure. Thank you very much, sir. It was wonderful talking to you, and with your permission, sir, we'll take 2 questions from the audience. So, yeah, please.
James, sir. So I am Kalm Vivek Sharma, sir. Recently, sir, Army has institutionalized a new recruiting scheme called as Agniveer scheme, sir. Approximately 7 to 8 months have passed, sir. So, can I request you to throw some light that how it has progressed, sir, and what has been the response of youth about it across the country, sir?
Right. So let me start by saying that, and I'm glad you didn't ask as to whether the scheme is good. I think that issue is settled now. Because initially we were sort of talking of the benefits and the pitfalls and the likes. But I'm glad over a period of time, I think there is confidence within our organization, right up to the level of the last Jawan, amongst the, shall we say, the veteran community and the public at large on the benefits. Now, to my way of thinking, it is going to be a game changer. It is a major transformative reform, a progressive step, I think, whose time had come. So I'll not list out the benefits. I think that is a known fact now, or a given. But where are we in terms of implementation of the scheme? We commenced the recruitment rallies. We had total of close to 100 rallies, which included 85 for regular soldiers, another 10 for women soldiers, and some for the others. So out of these, I think 60%, 65% of the rallies we have already gone through, and the response has been extremely good. Amongst those who applied, we were also looking at, if you recall, one of the things was that we must have technologically educated or technically adept youth joining in, to say those who are through the ITIs, through other technical institutes, etc. So there again we have got some good response. We are now trying to analyze, because this was the first time. So now this will give us a good guide, good handle in future as to which out of our technical trades can we look from out of this. So the recruitment process itself, I would say, has been, it's proceeding extremely well. We will start the first, training of recruits, the first cycle comprising 25,000 around 3rd week of December. That is when they will join the centers. One of the key, while all this is happening at the back end, there are other systems that we needed to look at. We needed to look at as to on what basis would you select the Agniveer for retention after 4 years. So we've come out with a robust, credible, transparent, fair, yet implementable selection process. And that has been approved by the concerned authorities. We are in the process of putting out in an automated centralized database, because these Agniveers, after their initial 31 weeks of training, are going to be posted in all units. So the system must cater for their correct assessment by different people. So we've got this in place. We've also got, there are other issues of how do you skill them, so that when they move out after 4 years, what kind of skill sets they carry. So we are in touch with the MOSD, Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Ministry, and they have been very forthcoming. Likewise with the Ministry of Education, in terms of what education qualification or enhancement will they achieve at the end of 4 years. So there has been good response on that front. I would say about 70% of the work is already over. Then there was this aspect of what after 4 years, will there be government agencies, private sector, will they be able to absorb them? So that outreach is continuing. A lot of government ministries have announced reservations for the Agniveers, and so have the private industry associations such as SIDM and the likes. That is one. The recruit training, which will now get compressed to 31 weeks, is a major challenge, because earlier you had recruit training going right from 50 weeks upwards. So this is something which, to my in my opinion, is extremely critical. So we have geared up our regimental centers to get more simulators, to have more technology, so that this reduction or compressing this recruit period to 31 weeks, that doesn't get adversely impacted, because at the end of it, you don't want not fully trained soldiers coming out of the centers and going to the units. There is also this aspect of the physical stress. So earlier the youth or a recruit is going to be the same, but he will be put through the same kind of medical duress or strain stress in this 31. So how does that body able to handle? So we have to beef up the medical setup, the doctors, etc., maybe physiotherapists and the others enablers. So that is another thing that we are looking at. And also important here is educating or telling our junior leaders at the unit level, because there is aspect of assimilation and integration of the Agniveers. Right? Once they join the units, they need to be looked at as, a normal soldier, and not as if he's going to be here for 4 years and thereafter leave. So that is what I have been telling our junior leaders, that they'll have a very important role to play. And there are a whole lot of other management issues, right, relating to the human resource management, cadre management, their transfers, their postings, their emoluments, what happens if we become a battle casualty, and likewise. Now all these have been adequately addressed. So I must assure you, we are on the right track.
Sir, given the way the role technology has played in the Ukraine-Russia conflict and the progress we are making towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, especially to use indigenous technology in weapon systems, do you think probably it is a fine time for us to revisit the idea of setting up a defense cyber agency and have a full-fledged defense cyber command, especially when both our principal adversaries now have it? So do you think that we need to revisit and shed those inhibitions and have a full-fledged cyber command in India, especially when our civilian counterpart, we don't have anything?
Right. So as I see it, your suggestion is, instead of a cyber agency, we move on to a cyber command. Right? That is the final aim. Right? Because before you have cyber command, you must have those kind of assets which the cyber command should be able to, shall we say, operate or utilize or take charge of. I think presently, or cyber, or for that matter even space, right? So we are looking at the cyber command, space command and the special forces command, all three in a similar manner. So there is a beginning which has been made in terms of having defense cyber agency, and you are aware the space agency, and likewise. And I'm sure in due course of time, as we progress, this will just be a precursor or a foundation for establishment of a cyber command. But let me just try and answer that question. So before I disappoint you, you please say that again. I'll make an attempt.
So Xi Jinping, he said they should be prepared for war. But whereas we know that they, perhaps, that's my perception, that's the view also, that they don't have the courage to actually go ahead with it. Might be still saber rattling. Whereas on this, isn't it contrary to Sun Tzu's philosophy of the art of war, where he says to win wars without fighting? And here he says be prepared for war.
Right. So, we all know what the Chinese say and what they do is quite different. So, it's also part of the deception or their nature, their character. Right. So, we only, what they say or what they articulate, we need to just, but perhaps we need to focus on their actions rather than what is there in their written text or written scripts or their articulation. Perhaps then we'll not go wrong.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much, sir.
40% of the people who didn't even know they had diabetes had soaring sugar levels.
To help India beat diabetes, BITO has collaborated with Lions Club International to conduct diabetes screening camps all over India to create awareness and control this silent epidemic.
आपने शुगर चेक की क्या?
Get your diabetes care program with a free BITO glucometer. Give a missed call on 740-1100.
2000 से ज्यादा मोटरसाइकिल सवार आज यहाँ उतरे हैं अनुराग ठाकुर और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के समर्थन में, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के समर्थन में।
Property of the Jamaat Islami that has been seized, that falls in the Bongaon village for their links with the terror groups and carrying out the terror activities.
Several people have been killed in a fire in Malé, the capital of the Maldives. The main accused in the Bargari sacrilege case, Pradeep Singh, has been shot dead by two bike-borne gunmen at Kotakpura in Faridkot.
3 arrests have been made, 2 Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists and 1 of their helper. Big success for the Jammu police as they have busted this major terror module. This was the tanker that was being used by the Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists to sneak into the weapons from the Jammu to the Kashmir Valley.
So the Chief Minister has said that you are an RSS camp follower. He has said that you should be a detached figure. He says that you should uphold the dignity of your office, not be a RSS camp follower.
You can change a government. You can't change a people. It is the people of India who are electing the government at the center.
BJP state president walking towards the protesters, demanding the resignation of Arya Rajendran in the
Once again, we are witnessing a terror attack in South Kashmir's Bijbehara, where the non-locals have been targeted by the terrorists. As of now, the TRF has claimed the responsibility, but both the non-locals coming from outside Jammu and Kashmir, the condition is stable. They are being given the best treatment, and also the coordinated search operation has been launched by Jammu and Kashmir police along with the Indian Army in South Kashmir to nab those who had carried this attack. The person you are speaking.
Getting in some more breaking news updates on the story that we are picking up from the valley. The Kashmir police has just confirmed, the Kashmir Zone Police, saying that terrorists fired upon and injured two outside laborers in the Rakam Momin area of Anantnag, and both the injured are being shifted to hospital for treatment. The area is being cordoned off. Further details shall follow, is what the police said on record. Terrorists had fired upon two non-locals in the area of police station Bijbehara in Anantnag, and the official confirmation was waited. Going back to Zeenat. Zeenat, can you tell us a little bit more about the identities of these non-locals who were shot? Do we have their details?
See, as far as the identity of these non-locals who have been shot by the terrorists, one is Chotu Prasad and another is Govind. Both these non-locals are from the Bihar. They have been shot at by the terrorists. They have received the abdomen injury, but the visuals that we are beaming from the screen are coming from the Anantnag hospital, the district hospital Anantnag, where they're being given the treatment, although we are seeing the coordinated search operation launched. Meanwhile, we are also seeing the offshoot of Lashkar Toiba, the terror outfit. The TRF has claimed the responsibility for carrying this attack. We are seeing the coordinated search operations launched by J&K Police, Indian Army, and also the CRPF. Terrorists are trying to disturb the situation on ground by targeting the non-locals, but we are also seeing the efforts coming from the J&K Police or the security agencies. In most of the cases of these kinds, the terrorist or the terror group have been wiped up. They have been neutralized in majority of the cases. Police has launched coordinate search operation to nab those who have been who are behind this attack. What we are picking from the sources that these non-locals, they were called by somebody outside where they were staying on a rented accommodation. They've been called out to come out, and when they came out from the rented accommodation, they were shot at. They received multiple gunshot wounds. We are picking from the hostile sources that they are stable. The advanced treatment is being given to them. We have seen the surge in these kind of attacks recently, but also we have seen the kind of blow Jaish, or for that matter LET, has received, as majority of their boys, be it the locals or the Pakistani terrorists, have been neutralized by J&K police along with Indian Army in most of the operation. Because if we talk about the data of around 11 months, 169 terrorists have been neutralized by the agencies, by J&K police with the security forces in the Kashmir Valley.
Staying with these pictures right now. Zinat, be with me. And these are pictures coming in from Anantnag, and we've seen, and I think there are more pictures that will be coming in on News Agency ANI, just a few minutes from now. But just to let our viewers know that these are pictures that are coming in from the valley, different pictures coming in from different inputs. And Zinat, this is coming at a time when the election campaign is picked up, isn't it? Election campaign is picked up from tomorrow. We're expecting a lot of political action as well in the valley. These attacks are perhaps timed closer to the elections. There's a pattern to it.
If we see the trend of these kind of outfits, whenever there is some kind of peace or normalcy, the way it is returning, the developmental activities are taking up. So Pakistan-sponsored terrorism, as ADGP Kashmir has already pointed out, that Pakistan don't want these kind of things on ground, because now the people of Jammu and Kashmir are giving a befitting reply by joining the political developments, political rallies, because nowadays the political fever is getting high and high. So this is a reply to those who don't want stability in Jammu and Kashmir. So this is a pistol-born terrorist who carried this kind of attack. They tried to target the non-locals to create a kind of fear that Kashmir is not normal. But we have also seen that the thousands of non-locals coming from different parts of the country who are staying in Kashmir, they are earning their livelihood. So in a way, we are seeing that Tiara, for that matter, the offshoot of Lashkar, is trying to create fear among the population, the non-local population that do not stay in Kashmir, because they have been giving the warnings. Today also, the Srinagar police has already registered an FIR against the Kashmir Fight Group, who have been attacking the local journalists or the local dailies here, that they are, the way the headlines again about the Jamaat Islamiyah. You see recently a crackdown on the Jamaat Islamiyah, the properties were seized after by the orders of District Magistrate Shupen, so which is again Jamaat Islami Kashmir. Jamaat Islami is a terror organization, as has been designated now by many of the leaders were detained, many of them were arrested, their properties have been confiscated. So we are seeing a lot of things happening in the Kashmir, because as LG Manoj Sinha pointed out, that this time the Delhi is making every possibility after the abrogation of Article 370 that they are not buying the peace, but the motive is only to establish the peace on ground. This is going to be a long-lasting peace, not a small or timely activity. So all the security agencies, J&K police, Indian Army, everybody has chipped in to see that wherever it is possible, they are trying to take the terror out. The oxygen is being taken out as by busting these terror modules, arresting hybrid terrorists, or neutralizing the Pakistani terrorists. You see recently, just a day before, a Kulgam police, after generating an input about the presence of the Pakistani terrorists in the Shopian in Kapran village, the Pakistani terrorist of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, who as per the ADGP Kashmir was making the movements from Shopian to Kulgam, and he was neutralized. Again, it is a success to the security forces, but then you have to be also prepared for these kind of incidents, because these are the soft targets, more like that they don't carry the weapon, they are the normal civilians without any training. So these are very common and very soft targets available. So whenever these terrorists try to see that soft target is available, they try to target so that their news, this kind of news, gets the wider publicity, and to tell the world that see, Kashmir is not normal. But we should see the other part of it by taking the figures, because last year, if you see the figures of the anti-terror operation, 171 terrorists were neutralized in 12 months. But if you see this year's figures, 169 has already across when it's only the 11th month of 2020. We are seeing in South Kashmir that the coordinated search operation launched by the all security forces, in fact, at many places the frisking and also the OGW network have been picked up by J&K police for the questioning. As far as the condition of these injured is concerned, the hostel sources do tell me that condition is stable and coordinated search operations have been launched to nab those who carried this kind of attack.
BJP state president walking towards the protesters, demanding the resignation of Arya Rajendran, the mayor. At the same time, water cannons and tear gas are being used.
They want you to resign. Isn't it obvious to you, Mr. Khan? Now that you've used the resign word, I'll say it clearly to you. They want you to resign.
The law says the governor shall be chancellor. He cannot resign. Even when I had written the letter to the chief